Does Doubt.
Debbie does. One day that will be on here. But yeah. Captain Ron here, as I was saying, you're going to show it eventually.
Obviously, I'm going to show it. It's called the Physical Media Show.
Vinegar Syndrome. Guys.
And this new one, and that's Air Force One.
Get off my plane. I think Sony paid you a bunch of money to talk about all their steelbooks today.
Stuff, but you know,
are we seriously gonna have to talk about the screen movies again?
This is a movie I didn't think I'd like as much as I did, and I know it was like really popular because it like won some Oscars and whatever, but
Debbie Does Doubt.
We're actually showing something is they actually produced crew jackets. Like, the movie never went into production, but it is. Oh, it's got a Delta Force 2 motion.
Hey, that works either way.
That's cool.
Is anyone even there still? I don't even know.
Yeah, we're just listening.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was like, no one's saying it. Like,
really
is it a story?
It's on Netflix if you want to watch it.
Hello, fellow followers, and welcome back to the Physical Media Show here on FanZcene Vids, my channel. Glad to be back with you guys this week. We had an unfortunate internet outage last week here at Casa del FanZcene, so I was unfortunately not able to do the show last week after having planned on doing the show. So I apologize to all you guys for missing last week's show. But I am glad to be here with all of you this evening with Tom and Runner. And I want to say hell to the chat real quick that's been waiting. So hell to you, Brian Barth. Glad to have you with us as well. Style Section, always glad to see you here. What is up, Deleted Scenes? Salute to you as well, my friend. Hails, Random Brad Creator, always sending us the good vibes. What is up, 80s Made Consumer? Hail to you. Great channel. Check him out if you like physical media. He does amazing physical media stuff. Carl's Art Universe. Hail to you, my friend. And let's see who else we have here. Where's it at? Doba Fett, howdy, how you doing? And Juan Carlos Gonzalez Jr., the glorious return of the Physical Media Show. Yes, it is the glorious return, and I'm glad to have you with us as always. And Ace Hanlon, hola to you, my friend. Tyrell72, hell to all, good to have the show back. Yes, it is good to have the show back. Live long and prosper. Yeah, I know, Brian Barth, it's just bad timing with the internet stuff. It sucked. And so my apologies to all you guys for not being able to do the show last week. It does warm my heart though to see how many people, missed the show. I was surprised. I mean, that made me feel good, because I'm not a huge channel. I don't get like a massive amount of views all the time. So it made my heart feel good that the people that replay the show and join us live really missed the show. So that's the one bright side that can come out of it. And Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank, hi guys. Oh, it says you're a channel member. I did not know this. Have you always been a channel member? You must be a new one. If you're not, I apologize. I did not know this. Thank you for being a channel member here as well. Yes, physical media. That's because great. You guys love us. I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. I very much appreciate it. What's up, Sean Crummel, the real Sean Crummel? Thank you. Lester San Jose, the Skeptic Tank. Seriously, I'll just signed up today. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you for being a new channel member. I very appreciate that. I will adjust my settings and stuff for my videos now when I add you in. I appreciate that. Thank you so very much. But Tom and Runner, how are you guys doing this evening? How about you, Runner? Let's start with you since you've been gone for a while. How are you doing this evening, Runner? If you're back. All right, Runner's not back.
I've been running around a lot. Doing runner things.
I'm going to Best Buy and
running to Best Buy.
I've been checking out steelbooks I'm just messing. But how you doing, Tom? How you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right. How about you guys?
I'm doing good. I'm glad to be here. Sometimes after long days, it's fun to be able to kick back and talk physical media and hang out with you guys in the chat and stuff. So I like that. Cut the runner running. Excellent point, runner. He had to leave. He had to go check out the latest steelbooks. Okay, so whenever runner gets back to us, let him get back to us. So any interesting physical media news that's coming out that you're interested in, Tom?
Gosh, the Mario Brothers stuff was kind of interesting. I don't know how soon we'll actually see that.
Yeah, I would like to get that on 4K.
Finally getting Hellraiser would be nice, as we saw. Consider it was like 2 years ago that Arrows teased it in one of their little insert cards. Like,
yeah,
finally.
It was been a while since they teased that, hasn't it?
At least a year or two.
Yeah. So, for anybody that doesn't know, some of the stuff that's coming is Hellraiser 1, 2, 3, and 4 is coming from Arrow. The 4K, it will be region free because I think it's a UK only release, isn't it? I believe.
Yeah, but I didn't have no problems getting it from Zavi US, I think it was. So.
Just go to Zavi USA
or whatever.
Yeah, Zavi or Diabolic. 4K is region free if you got that, or if you got a region free Blu-ray player, you can get the Blu-ray. We might get as the original Mario Brothers on 4K. The Kiss the Girls is coming on 4K. Night of the Demons 1, 2, and 3 are coming from Shout Factory. The first one is getting a 4K upgrade. The third movie has never been on Blu-ray before, so it is available. It's sold out on Screen Factory. With all the goodies, the part 3 with the poster and all that. So now it's just the movie. So if you missed out on that, you missed out on the posters and all that. Pumpkinhead is coming to 4K. The Blob is coming to 4K. All these come out in October. Let's see, what else was there? I was trying to remember all that stuff. I know you put together the 4K for you thing, but I feel bad always asking you to play that because that's for your show, not my show.
Don't matter to me.
Yeah, so I just, so I was just trying to remember some of the stuff. But I think that's really about.
That was Sadie. Sorry.
I was going to say.
She's got her burger. She wants to play all of a sudden.
Yes. Yeah, I know. People are excited for the Super Mario ones too. Yeah. Oh, cool. We saw it at a drive-in. That's cool. Yes, there's a rumor that we read that who was it that we read about that said the visual effects guy or something that they might be trying.
Yes, I don't remember the name, but yeah, he's the guy who did the visual effects or something like that.
Yeah, the guy who did the visual effects said that they're looking into adding in all those deleted scenes, seeing if the 35 millimeter prints of them still exist and stuff to finish them off and add into the 4K. So you never know. Tom, but I had the 4K of the Superman movie already. I suppose I get that for chuckles. Hopefully it comes down to that. I hope it comes out, I would like to have it as well. But I think that's really about it though. I think that's what we would do. Oh, Cujo is coming from Kino Lorber on 4K, and I believe that comes out in November. No, not November. September, right? I think it's September. I think they said that is.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, September. It looks to be a great disc release there. Now, before we get into the show, I think that's about it, guys. I hope we gave you some titles there.
I see Body Double was just rumored here.
Oh, yeah, Body Doubles from Brian Double Palma. Was that Kino again, too?
I think it will be, yeah.
Yeah. And Red Dragon is coming to 4K.
Yeah, they just put up their official one here, I think.
Yeah.
Red Dragon.
Yeah. But there was some I wanted to talk to you about, Tom, because you brought it up on your show, and whatever happened, my internet not my internet, my computer or whatever shut down. It was about the 4K thing where Warner Brothers is only giving you the 4K, and to get the special features, it's only on digital. There you are, Runner. Glad to have you back.
Did you go to the bar to get a fucking drink?
Yeah, that's what I was
wondering. Oh man, no. My family needed some help as I was about to get my snack and drink. So, yeah, that's what happened. Sorry about that, guys.
All right.
How was everyone? What did I miss?
Everything.
Everything. We're
Show's
on.
over. Took you for a
Yeah,
long.
we're like on our third
Damn.
pick already.
Jesus.
Damn, I still have 5 things to show.
That's too bad.
Too
We're
bad.
done.
Well,
No,
I might as well just show everything off. Here you go, everyone. No, I'm kidding.
put it away.
Quit showing everything off, dude.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
But I do want to talk about something real quick because I didn't get to give some of my thoughts on it. Is it was brought up on Tom's show 4K.
Yeah, because you fell out. That sucked. Yeah.
Yeah, I fell out. The digital bits. Bill Hunt and them was talking about how with the upcoming Exorcist 4K here in the U.S., it will only be the movie on 4K. Was it the commentary? I believe it was coming with it, and all the special features will be digital with the digital copy.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're doing this with a lot of their movies. For a lot of the 4Ks they're starting to release.
Funny. It's funny you say that because one of my picks is that exact problem, but in this case, it's worse because the digital copy doesn't even have the special features. But we'll get to that very soon.
Yeah. So
this is a Warner Brothers title, so
yeah. And it's like Tom was saying that Bill usually is a guy who's usually like, guys, we should be happy we're getting these movies on 4K. You know, it sounded like I did skimming through some of it. It sounded like he was kind of a little, you know, you can feel it in him. And it's like Tom was saying. And so that's like what I was going to say is like one of the things like I love VHS. You guys know I love VHS, but one of the things that was so cool when you got to DVD was all the special features, the behind the scenes making of the movies, the interviews, the commentaries, all that. And now we're getting to the point where we're getting an amazing amount of movies on 4K. And it's like The Exorcist on 4K, and like Warner Brothers is starting to release a lot. Rio Bravo, Enter the Dragon, all these, and now it's getting to the point where now they don't even give you the special features anymore.
Rio Bravo was another one where they do not have the special features on it outside of the commentary,
and that's upsetting because I'm a physical media collector. We're all physical media collectors here. That's what this show is about. We will pay that money to buy these 4Ks and stuff, but it's kind of disheartening to think, well, why would I buy something where I have to get the digital copy to get the special features if I still have the Blu-ray with all the special features? Or, you know, that's where it's become a dilemma because, you know, the scans might be decent, even though Warner Brothers has started to slip on their scans a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I'm out of mind because I want to get Enter the Dragon and Rio Bravo and all that, but I'm thinking now, do I really want to spend $30 and get them? I might just wait till like a Black Friday or something to pick them up now, because that's where I'm at right now. Yeah. So, I mean, I really want these movies. I want them on 4K. I want to have them in my collection. I want to be able to talk to you guys about Enter the Dragon next Tuesday or Wednesday because it comes out Tuesday. But I don't know if I want to pay $30 and just get the movie and have to go digital for special features.
Right.
Right. So that's really where I'm at. So and at the end of the day, though, I probably will buy Enter the Dragon because it's something I really do want to see. I haven't seen it in years.
And I was bummed out when I bought that expensive box set and it's only the Blu-ray. Like all the rest of the movies are 4K. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get to see the Blu-ray. Oh, never mind. You know.
Yeah. Then you did get it on that.
No.
Right there. But yeah, Runner, do you have any thoughts on that? I know one of your movies you're going to bring up, so I don't want to make you spoil that unless you want to jump into it. And that's where we can start. You know, you can show that could be your first pick. And
yeah, that's a good idea. That's a pretty good idea. Yeah, it's. I'm gonna say it. It's fucking retarded that studios like Warner Brothers are doing this shit. Like special features. It's like that's like one of the things of many reasons of what makes physical media so great.
Yeah.
You know like I had to explain this to my parents because like my mom is like, really? Like people like that stuff? I'm like, yes. Like, of course. I explained to her, like, if you want to be like a filmmaker and shit, like listening to like audio commentaries from directors or producers or whatnot it's interesting.
Right.
You know, and there's many others like, you know, the making ofs, just like all of that stuff.
It's true. And like before we get to showing your pick here, 80s Made Consumer said, do you think it's a ploy to have us double dip later with a special collector's edition? Possibly, but also they are saying these are like this collector's editions as they're releasing them. So who knows what they're really trying to do to us. So
Yeah, but so this one,
yeah, go ahead and show your first pick there.
I enjoy the movie a lot, and I only bought this on 4K, even at its price right now. I only bought it because I wanted to complete the collection. And it's very rare that an actual franchise has like every movie that I think is like good, because there's usually bad ones in every franchise. Every movie in this franchise has been pretty solid to fantastic. One movie that I thought was really solid that came out this year is Evil Dead Rise.
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah, really good movie. I think it's one of the best horror movies this year, next to Megan, and I don't know if you'd count Renfield with that, but
I wouldn't quite say Renfield is a horror movie, but
no, it's more of a comedy. Yeah, you're right.
a horror comedy.
Or mostly a comedy, but Evil Dead Rise I think is really good. I enjoyed it quite a lot, and it's funny, like this and even the Barbie movie, say what you will about that, I haven't seen it, but those are the only two movies that have been profitable for Warner Brothers this year. And I mean, Evil Dead Rise is it was a very low budget movie anyway.
Right.
So I think that's what helps, but I was happy I saw this in the theater. I thought they did a pretty good job with it. It was kind of like it's almost like it's like the Shining version of Evil Dead, if that makes sense. There's a lot of elements of the Shining in there.
I'll have to. I mean, I plan on seeing it eventually, but I've heard conflicting things about it. I've heard a lot of people say it's good, and I've also heard a lot of people say it's not so good.
I don't know. I think it does a pretty decent job for the most part. I enjoyed it. I got to rewatch it though, and because I did check out some scenes on 4K. It looks good. I mean, it's a new movie, but the 4K is really good.
But is this one that has no special features on it?
None whatsoever.
No special features at all.
That is my biggest gripe with this thing. Not even on the Blu-ray.
See, that's
even
ridiculous.
on the fucking Blu-ray. Not even on the digital copy.
Now, see,
this is ridiculous.
This is what I'm saying. I can justify myself. I can say, okay, I can spend $30 on Rio Bravo, Enter the Dragon, because those are older movies, and this would probably be the last time they'll get like a 4K, the finest they'll ever look. And if they don't have special features, and okay, fine, whatever. But I'm not spending $30 on the Evil Dead for no special features. That's a brand new movie. There's no excuse for that.
No, yes, and I was hesitant on buying it, and the only reason I did was because every other Evil Dead movie I have on 4K, I don't know, I'm weird. So everyone
I get it. It's completest stuff, man.
I know, but also every other one has slipcovers, so I wanted to get one with the slipcover. So it's a pretty nice slipcover, honestly. It's the poster, so
yeah, charging full price for a vanilla edition is garbage. I think that is.
It is. I'll likely never do this again with any other movie, but I enjoy it to the point where I don't care as much. It might be the best.
Now, see, that makes me just not want to buy that movie because, like I said, I can see possibly spending out $25-$30 for the older flicks that will probably never get another. But I'm not going to spend that much money for a brand new movie that should have that stuff. That should have that stuff already.
No, definitely get it for a lower price. I would definitely check it out for you, Greg. If you liked the last Evil Dead movie, I
did like the last Evil Dead movie. I thought it surprised me because I didn't think I would, and I really did like it.
Oh, I didn't think I would either. The only reason, my God, sorry, I had a frog in my throat. The only reason,
the
only reason I saw the 2013 Evil Dead movie was because I was on a stream like an Evil Dead stream, and they were gonna talk about that movie. So I'm like, all right, fine, I'll watch it. And I'm like, wow, this was actually pretty damn good. And I got the 4K from Shout not too long ago, so
That's cool. All
yeah.
right,
So I
well,
wanted to add this to my collection, and you know what sucks is like for special features, it's like there's like footage of like some of the training behind it of
mhm.
like what goes on in the movie, and like that shit's kind of cool, honestly. Like I wish they had like special features of like behind the scenes shit like that. Um Even like an audio commentary from the director would have been cool, and maybe another one from Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell.
Uh,
Because they're both producers for this movie, in case you didn't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I know. I know Sam Raimi and them are still it's his property. Sean, I don't know why they didn't continue it. I know that one point in time there was rumors. I can't say it was that definitive, but there was rumors that they planned on continuing Mia's, I think her name, if I
Yeah,
remember
Mia.
Mia's story.
Yeah.
They were going to continue it and then have her sort of meet up with Ash and kind of connect the two worlds. But they ended up doing the Ash versus the Evil Dead series, and then they come about with this.
You know, it's weird. It's like I hope Bruce returns as Ash. If he doesn't want to, I'll respect it. But
Oh, I think he's done.
yeah, I mean, if he is, well, he didn't say he was done.
He said he was done. He said he's done. He said the only way he will ever come back is if Sam Raimi writes and directs it. And I don't think Sam Raimi's ever, at this moment in time, is in a hurry to.
I don't remember him saying that specifically.
I did. I read it in Fangoria.
No. I'm not talking about the quote, but there was someone on Twitter who said, what did he say? Like he's like, oh, I'm missing Ash right now, like Ash Williams and all that. And Bruce Campbell literally retweeted, yeah, I'm starting to miss him too.
Yeah.
So I'm not
like
saying
you said,
it's going to happen, but it's possible.
Well, he said he's still going to do like the video games, and I think there's even talk of an animation type show. So he can still continue to be Ash in that way. But as like live action, I think he said he's pretty much done, unless Sam Raimi does something.
No, that's fine. I get that. I'm just wondering, because of the success of the new one, maybe they could do it. But it's weird, like the rights are like all over the place for Evil Dead. Like the 2013 was like Sony TriStar.
Yeah.
And this one is Warner Brothers New Line Cinema, so it's weird.
And I know Universal is involved there somehow with the Army of Darkness. So
and I think Stars is obviously the show, and Lionsgate owns the distribution for the first two.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's fucking bananas.
This is the way it plays out. But I'll get to that eventually. But
Stars is Lionsgate, which owns, I think, the first two.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Stars is Lionsgate, but I agree with Tyrell about Ash versus Evil Dead. I don't know if it had a perfect ending.
I still would have liked watching it. I never finished it.
Me too. I still got the third season.
I finished watching it. It's a dope ending, but it's not like.
I kind of fell out during the second season. I just kind of got a little.
I don't know. Those first two seasons are brilliant. The third one's the weakest, but it's fine. I didn't mind it.
I have to get to it.
Then it got canceled, so I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that, but it's still worth a watch.
Yeah. Greetings, Martin. Glad to have you with us.
All right, we've been talking about Ash versus the Evil Dead now for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, so let's go to you, Tom. What do you got for your first pick of the night?
Well, should I do one of the ones or one of the other ones?
Do one of your other ones first, and then we'll get to
that. Okay, since the other one's kind of related, I'll do this one first. And this is the one I talked about earlier on 4K for You. Two Guns has gotten a new 4K Steelbook release here from Paramount. There you go.
I do like that.
No, Universal, not Paramount.
Or Universal, I'm sorry. Thank you. And I am actually impressed with how good this looks.
Nice.
Because I looked it up. It was shot on film, but they did it in a 2K interpositive, which means all the editing and stuff like that was done digitally. my God, it looks amazing. I would have thought they went and rescanned it, but as far as I can tell, according to Blu-ray.com, it's an upconvert.
Really?
But I don't know if it's just a testament to how good shit looks just from starting from film as a base to begin with in general, or what.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't believe how good it looked. I mean, and I had fun with the movie. The movie itself is actually pretty good. It has like kind of a 48 hours mixed with heat kind of thing going for it, based on a graphic novel. I didn't even know it was based on a graphic novel till I watched one of the
Neither
deals
did
on
I.
here. And yeah, but basically what it's about is you got Denzel Washington playing Denzel Washington as a DEA agent, and you got Marky Mark playing Marky Mark as a NCIS agent guy or Navy police or whatever. And yeah, they don't realize that they're both undercover, and yeah, it's kind of a cat and mouse thing at first, but then it all kind of works itself out. And it's a really good kind of like, not a buddy cop movie, but it is kind of a buddy cop movie
Right.
at the end of the day. Because like it's weird because it's not what I expected it to be, but at the end it still is kind of what I expected it to be. I don't know how to like bring that to like like explain it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Like it was something you expected expected, but it kind of did your
Surprised me.
expectations or something.
Like, yeah, because like from all the trailers, they must have gave away in the trailers that they were cops or something or other, because like when I saw the thing, I'm like, oh, we've had a million movies about two cops, you know, get two big stars together, whatever. It's just
Yeah.
another one of those. When it first came out, I just discarded it as one of those, right? I'll get to it when I get to it.
That's kind of
You
why
know,
I
then-
never watched my copy.
Yeah, but like it is that it is that, right? But it isn't at the same time, because when you start out, you don't neither one of the characters knows who the other is, as far as like, and I don't really mean to spoil, but it happens within the first like 20 minutes of the movie. And yeah, once you get sucked in by the idea, because that's the whole thing, is they're setting up this whole bank robbery. They're like bank robbers.
Mm-hmm.
So each is undercover thinking the other guy is a bank robber, basically. So it's really kind of that's where like the heat kind of elements come into it a little bit, but it's not like dark like any of that kind of stuff like a Michael Mann movie, but it has the flair of like a Michael Mann movie, kind of like if Michael Bay and Michael Mann had a baby.
Kind of sounds interesting. I definitely got,
but not bad Michael Bay, right? Like
right, the good like bad boys Michael
like
Bay.
The Rock, Bad Boys, Michael Bay, exactly.
Yeah.
It met my actually I enjoyed it a hell of a lot more than I thought I was going to. It kept me guessing along the way. Although I did see some things coming, some things did surprise me by the end of the movie, and I don't want to spoil any. That's why I'm confident enough with saying the front end stuff, because there's enough that happens on the back end too that you're just like, oh wow, okay, I didn't see that coming. But you kind of do on some things, but other things are a little bit more like, oh, take you out of left field. But love the action sequences. I mean, as far as I can tell, most of it was done practically, stunt work, all that kind of cool stuff. You know, cool car chases and crashes and explosions, nice gunfights. Marky Mark and Denzel Washington have good chemistry. They're likable actors. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I'd give it like an 8 out of 10.
I'm definitely gonna have to check it out. I do dig that steelbook you got there. I like that red on there.
Yeah,
it's nice.
And then you got the key art for the original poster on the inside here.
Inside there. Yeah.
So
I
yeah,
dig
there
that.
you go.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, you guys might dig it, especially if you're somebody who likes, like I said, like the Michael Bay kind of Michael Mann kind of movies.
I was gonna say like earlier Michael Bay though, right?
Yeah. Well, I said leaning more towards Michael Mann.
Oh, okay. Because I did hear you say, I think on 4K for You, it kind of has that Don Simmons, Jerry Bruckheimer.
More of the Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer kind of feel.
Yeah, when I heard you say that, I was like, oh wow, now you're speaking my language.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't like. This is a movie they would produce, definitely.
Now I kind of regret never having watched it, because I've had the Blu-ray.
You said you got it. Watch it tonight, brother.
Yeah.
You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I might just do it, because
I mean, it's a 2K up convert. I mean, it does look good for 4K. I was impressed looking at it. I'm like, God, I can't believe they didn't rescan it. So unless Blu-ray.com hasn't updated, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll have to get to it, because I think I'll rather enjoy that than this. Awesome.
Because you can see the grain structure real nice, and it's, you know, the faces and everything don't look blotchy or nothing. Like I don't see any DNR applied to it at all. No halos that I recall. Nothing Like Rio Lobo.
Oh boy.
I didn't watch that. That's not I'm going to talk about it. I just watched it for about 10 minutes and I said, nope.
Nope. Out on that.
I'm not even going to give myself the headache
And
right
it's
now.
Rio Bravo, not Lobo.
Or did I say Rio Lobo again? I did that earlier.
Yeah, you did that again.
It's Rio Bravo. I know. I get those two flip-flopped all the time.
Well, that leads me to not have to worry about buying that 4K for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna wait. How isn't the price like pretty pricey too?
Yeah, I think it's like
It's
$30.
$30. That's what I'm
the
saying.
fuck?
No special features except
No
for the
special
John
features.
Carpenter commentary too. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm
And
gonna
there's
wait.
and I have the old Blu-ray, and there's a featurette and another, I think, documentary or something like that on there too. Yeah.
I'll get it for like $10, maybe even less if possible.
See, that's what's pissed
I
me
also
off.
got East of Eden, and I'm sure that's missing special features that what were on the Blu-rays before too.
Yeah. Because that's what's pissed me off about these.
Not
movies.
even a slip cover. Not even a lousy
Not even a
fucking
slip cover?
cover. No.
Oh my god. Well, at least you got two guns that satisfy some of your
That
your
made
urge.
up for it, definitely, because
Yeah.
that was a surprise. That was a big surprise, and I wasn't even gonna really watch it at first. I was just like, I'll stick it in, see how it looks or whatever. So I do that sometimes, just and
Yeah, I
it
get
sucked
it.
me in the movie.
I do
It
that
also
too sometimes.
kind of reminded me more of a lighter version of that Chris Pine and one Taylor Sheridan. And I always forget the name of
Oh
it.
yeah. What is that?
With Jeff
Hell or
Bridges. in
High
it.
Water.
Hell or High Water.
Yeah.
A little bit of that, but not really. Like not the same kind of story, but just the beginning part with the whole. Because when they talk, they talk through the whole bank heist thing in the beginning, it really reminded me of some of that shit. Like the one line goes, you know what I say about, the saying about not robbing a bank right across the street from the diner that has the best donuts in 3 counties, right? He's like, that is not a saying. He's like, yes, it is. Yeah,
That's
he's
so
like,
cool.
you know why? He goes, I can understand why it's a saying, but it's not a saying. Like they get into this little argument about it, but like, yeah.
Yeah. I gotta watch it now. I definitely got it. I think I'll put my Blu-ray in this week and check it out because now you've made me really want to watch this movie. Especially
Yeah,
since
'cause
saying
then-
it kind of reminds you of Hell or High Water a little bit.
Exactly, like because then you have that's the scenes that remind me of that, and then like
Yeah.
the payoff later, of course, where the diner, they ask you, what kind of how good are your donuts here, and the waitress is like, frankly, they kind of stink, and she's like, we're so glad to hear that, man.
That sounds great. That's great. I've noticed that too, Cryum, that there's a couple of red steelbooks going around. So it must be some kind of new theme they're trying out with the red steelbooks.
Some of them, yeah, maybe that or it's the cheaper color right now.
Yeah.
I kind of spits in the idea of the whole pink thing, that there was a shortage of pink because, let's be real, in most cases, red is the base color for most paint.
Yeah,
white.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, I hated those rectangular security stickers when they put them in there. Oh, I hate those.
Oh, we'll bitch about a sticker later on.
Oh yeah,
Greg
we
and I
will. We will. But definitely inspired me to watch that movie.
I only special feature I watched was the one about the comic book.
Mhm.
Otherwise, I did not watch any of the other stuff, so I can't speak to that. But there is a bunch of stuff on here. So
see, that's what I like to hear. Special features, Warner Brothers. What's up?
and it looked, if I remember right, it looked like all the special features were on both discs. Because it does have a Blu-ray in here too, but from what I remember, and it doesn't say only on the Blu-ray. So yeah, so at least Universal got that right.
Yeah,
I'll give them that.
that's cool. Cool. All right. So you want me to go to my first one now?
Let's do it.
Now, okay. We don't have to talk about this one very long because I actually have brought this movie I'm about to show you guys on the show before, but I'm bringing it on again because I rewatched it for a reason, and you'll know it as soon as you see it. As soon as I start my camera here, as soon as I remember how to start my camera. There we go. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Man.
Yeah, I had to rewatch it because this past Monday was the 31st anniversary of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was released 31 years ago.
I thought you were watching it for another reason.
That's what I'm saying is. And also on this past Monday, it was announced that we had lost Paul Rubens, Pee Wee Herman. So it seemed fitting to me, since in honor of the man, which we all grew up with, it's Pee Wee Herman. Yes, I watched Pee Wee Herman stuff too, but Monday night, since it was the anniversary of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and we sadly lost Paul Rubens, I decided to rewatch this. And yeah, I'm not in the habit of bringing on things that I've done it again, but it felt right to me, along with watching some of the other Pee Wee, like Pee Wee's Playhouse and stuff I watched, but it just felt right to me, so I had to watch it. That's like I said, we don't really have to talk about it a lot because I brought it on here before, but I thought he was great as the vampire Amlin. It's some of the best work he did outside of Pee Wee Herman. Some of my favorites, like him with the Cheech and Chong and Buffy and Pee Wee Herman. That's how I know Paul Rubens, and it's may he rest in peace because it sucks. It sucks that we lost him.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he was something like Tom and I and so many people grew up with as a kid. I mean, it's like literally Pee Wee Herman, Paul Rubens. He taught you things as a kid and like Pee Wee's Playhouse and stuff, and did like cool kid stuff. And then he scared the shit out of you with Tim Burton's Pee Wee Herman movie with Large Marge and all that. I mean, that's a kid's you gotta love that. And then I felt it felt right to watch it, and so.
Now I have both versions here, and I could never figure out because somebody had read somewhere that I don't know if it's the newer version doesn't have the same music as the old version, like they changed it or something like that.
Really?
So yeah, I had to pick up the older version.
From what I noticed, I remember these songs. They sounded like the same songs that I used to hear.
I'm trying to remember. There's a reason why I bought the other one. Because like this is the older version, this is the newer one.
Yeah. And this is the last release we get.
Yeah, I mean the special features are the same, but somebody in the chat, if you remember, otherwise I have to look it up. I think they changed a couple songs on this version that are not in this version, or at least one song or something like that in it. Something got changed between the two. That's why I sought out. And the original version now is going for a lot more on eBay.
So it must be something. You know what? I have the VHS. Maybe I'll pop in the VHS and see if differences between that and this. But yeah, like I said, we don't have to talk about it much. It felt right to me to go, when I was watching Pee Wee Herman stuff, that I just felt like I should rewatch it, since it was literally the same day we learned that he had passed away was the same day that Buffy was released in theaters. And it just felt right to me. So, but yeah, that was my first pick there. If you have any thoughts or anything you would say, that's okay. If not, we'll move back to you, Runner.
Buffy, the Buffy movie is something I still need to watch. I've been wanting to see it for a while. It's
a really good, fun movie. I mean,
I don't know. I think the reason I've held off on it is because like I wasn't sure if I needed to watch the show at all or what. I don't know.
No, you do not need to see the Buffy the Vampire show to watch the movie at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Thanks for letting me know.
See, I'm a fan of the show. I've seen the show, but I've always said that the movie is better. The show is good. I really, really enjoy the show, but the movie, there's just nothing beats that movie. Christy Swanson is smoking hot in that movie. Donald Sutherland is great in the movie. Rutger Hauer. I mean, you got Rutger Hauer and Paul Rubens. Incredible cast. Ben Affleck is in the movie.
He is?
Yes. I forgot.
I did not know that.
I always forget that Ben Affleck is in that movie because
holy shit.
It's on one scene, real quick, super quick. He's just like a bit player on the other team basketball, the other basketball team. He's just there. I always forget that. Yeah, and it's got like some of the like I said, it's got Ben Affleck before he was famous. It's also got Hilary Swank before she was famous. She's in the movie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's got this cast and it's funny and it does the whole female empowerment thing better than today. You know what I mean? And she's just a likable badass chick who saves the dudes, but you don't feel like she's this insufferable girl boss. She's not. And I never in a million years would have thought that Luke Perry and Paul Rubens would be dead, and they were in that movie. So it's crazy. It's like being in the 80s and 90s, kids see like Luke Perry's dead, Paul Rubens is dead. It kind of like, I don't know, man. It's weird. It's a weird thing. I know you may not get it, Runner, because you're a 2000s kid, but
Yeah,
it's
I
a
know.
weird thing seeing like Luke Perry and Paul Rubens being dead.
I mean, I remember watching Pee Wee Herman's what's the full name? 'Cause I've only seen it.
Pee Wee's Playhouse.
But yeah, I've only seen it once.
The movie or the show?
The movie.
Oh, the movie's Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Yeah. I mix up the two sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it once when I was younger. I remember enjoying it. Need to rewatch it though.
Yeah. You check out Buffy. Buffy's a good movie. The show's a different animal.
I've been meaning to watch Buffy.
Yeah, the show's a different animal. Some people who are fans of the movie just can't get into the show at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't find it now. All I know is that, like I said, back when that first came out, and it's funny because I got it here and it doesn't have any plastic on it, but it still has the sticker sealed at the top.
Right.
But I got it used, and I remember getting it because I swear I read somewhere that there's like a song changed or something in this version. And this version is different in the sense that it has like oh no, this one does have the 7.1 mix on it too, but yeah,
it's a pretty good scan of this pink.
That's the thing is everything I'm reading says it's the same otherwise, but although this has new files on the disc. So I don't know, but then I can't find any of the reviews that I had found back in the day that made me want to get it in the first place. So I don't know.
Like I said, maybe I'll pop in my VHS because I would figure
unless it was about the TV show and I misinterpreted it about the movie or something.
What was it? I know the TV. Yeah, like they messed up the TV show when they put it on digital, but that's it.
Yeah,
because they did the scan or not scanned it. They blew it up. They blew up the image and cuts off the top and the bottom. But anyways, yeah, that was my tribute to Paul Rubens. Watched some Pee Wee Herman. I watched Buffy the same night. I found out, just felt fitting. But to you, Runner, what do you got? What's your second pick?
Okay, my second pick. God, what should I show next? Fuck it, I'll just go with this. I'm on the second season right now. I just started watching this show. I think Greg knows what I'm talking about because I think he liked my tweet. The Venture Brothers.
Oh, you got the whole season.
Nice. No, I got the complete series.
Yeah, the series. I mean,
yeah,
I love that show. I love that show.
Yeah, no, I started watching it. I think it's really solid.
It is.
I can see the hype with this show, and I want to. And I got it while I was out of town. Like I was just.
You paid a pretty good penny for that, man. That was going for pretty good money.
Yeah, no, it cost like $90 total.
Well, actually, you got it pretty cheap then.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I've seen it go for like 110, 120.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe they lowered the price down, but
yeah.
I went with my family to Walmart at one point, and I was just looking around the physical media section, of course, and I thought about buying some things, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna spend that much, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get the Venture Brothers because I've been wanting to see it, and yeah, it's fucking good show.
It is. I mean, like you get the references and like the Marvel and the old school Hanna-Barbera references and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I
don't know.
Doctor Strange is perfect.
I was gonna say like there's some references I get and some I probably don't, but you know, it's I like the characters a lot. Dean, Hank, Venture, Dr. Venture, Brock Sampson.
Brock is awesome. How far have you gotten into it?
I'm in season 2 right now.
So you haven't got to the big reveal yet, have you?
Whatever that is, yeah. No.
Yeah, there's a big reveal coming in season 2. It'll blow your mind.
Oh, okay. I'm on disc 1 of season 2 right now. But what's the villain's name? The
Monarch.
Monarch. Yeah, that's right. And Dr. Girlfriend.
Yeah, Dr. Girlfriend.
Dude, her voice freaked me the fuck out. When I was just like, wow, that's a really pretty woman. And then she talks like, yeah, like she talks like a dude. I'm like, what the fuck?
There's a big jokes with her throughout the whole series and stuff, and eventually they actually get to like they start showing nudity and stuff in the show of like people and women and stuff. It's crazy.
Like
So,
they don't censor it because
no, they don't censor it on the releases.
Okay, because
they censor it on when it aired on TV, but when it's the DVDs and Blu-rays are uncut.
Okay, because like at least in the first season, whenever like there would be nudity, they would have like black boxes covering.
I think the first seasons is still edited on the DVDs because they edited it, but like the later seasons they stopped editing it, and so when they were released, it's actually you see it, but when it was aired, it was edited it. So, but no, it's a great show. It's funny. If you can really pick up the references to the original, like if you grew up with the Hanna-Barbera, like Johnny Quest shows, and like, but there's tons of old school Marvel comic references in it.
I was gonna say this feels like one of those older cartoons from back in the day, and it's weird. Like, apparently, it's like an Adult Swim.
It was one.
And I used to watch Adult Swim a lot at night when I was a kid, believe it or not. and like the Venture Brothers just never like, I don't know, it just always escaped me.
Well, the thing is, like Brian Barter is one of the last rare breed. It was actually done old school. It was hand drawn and stuff, so it would take like years and two or 3 years sometimes in between seasons to get them done because they did it old school. So it took a while here and there sometimes to get a next season. So, but yeah.
And a movie came out recently.
The movie, I thought about picking that movie up as well. So,
I might pick it up. I've heard pretty good things about it.
I know, but the thing is, like, I don't want the show to end. I really enjoyed it, so if I put it off for as long as I can, I don't have to worry about the ending. But yeah, I wouldn't get that Blu-ray. I have most of the seasons. I still need to actually buy season 7. And the thing is, like, some of those have already been released on Blu-ray. Like the first, I think from season 3 onwards, they've all been released on Blu-ray. So, which is weird that they give the whole season on DVD. Yeah, it's crazy. So
they'll probably release a Blu-ray set soon, but it's probably going to be expensive as fuck.
Probably.
Like I just got the DVD collection because I'm like, I might as well get it just in case they don't release it. You know what I mean?
Actually, they probably won't because it's Warner Brothers. So,
like the Blu, yeah, I don't know.
They're probably just the DVD season series is probably what you'll get.
Yeah, and for TV shows, it's really not a big deal. Plus, it's animation, so I mean, it'd be nice to get a Blu-ray, obviously, but I'm okay with DVD.
All right. Well, I'm glad you picked it up because you're going to enjoy that.
Yeah, I was going to say in certain occasions, and this is one of them.
Okay.
But yeah, it's fucking cool. There's also some special features in certain discs. So yeah, again, special features. Good job on that one, Warner Brothers.
Yeah, well, it's probably some of the same ones they've already released on the other sets.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So they did it. I'll give them credit for that. They did a bang up job with that because actually I watched one of the special features on the season 1, disc 2, I believe, and they did like a live action like skit thing for some of the Venture Brothers.
Yeah, I have that. It's like the live action Venture Brothers movie, and it's the actual people that play their voices doing like a
and they're wearing the costumes and the green screen. Dude, that's amazing.
Thing is, like 2 guys do almost like everybody's voice.
Yeah, I know. And then there's Patrick Warburton who voices Brock Sampson.
Yeah.
Because I remember hearing his voice. I'm like, God, he sounds so fucking familiar. And then I looked up the cast. I'm like, oh, it's. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah. Oh, but it's good pick. Good for the second pick there. That's pretty cool, Runner. See?
I am the monarch.
And I am the mighty monarch. Fear me. All right.
Never saw it, but people always told me I should.
Tom,
I think you'd
really
like
did think
it.
you would like it. You'll get to
Yeah,
it eventually.
maybe.
I know you will.
Never know.
All right, Tom. Let's go to me and you, since we got a couple picks that are going to be similar.
Well, which one do we really want to do first? Because one of my picks goes off of the one that you decided first. The other one that you don't have.
We'll just do this one first, and then your third pick, you can do that.
All right.
All right. So you would.
Well, both of us happened to. Speaking of the sticker bit, both
Yeah.
of us got this, and it had a sticker on the back. It was a bitch to get off and clean off.
Tell me about that. I think I got it all off.
But yeah, it's a
I want to get that.
Walmart exclusive.
I'll blow you
As
up
far as
real
the
quick.
steelbook part. Oh, you're gonna blow me up.
I was
right?
going just so you can see it real quick.
Is it available online or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you not get it like in store?
I'm sure if they have them, if they find them in store, but
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I got the Venture Brothers set at a Walmart, so I'm curious.
yeah, you might find it at a bigger Walmart.
My glare.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean, the physical
I got
media.
the sticker was like right up here in the corner. Oh my god, was it a bitch?
Yeah, it took forever to get it cleaned off.
Yeah.
Well, the Walmart at the place I was staying at, like where my vacation spot was, like that's probably the best Walmart I've been to in a long time, because the one near me fucking sucks when it comes to physical media and all that. Like it's like been shrinking.
Yeah.
Which is
Well,
why I've stopped going to Walmart.
That's what happens. But Tom, did you get a chance to watch it?
Yes, and I enjoyed it. I
I
thought it
was
was
gonna say,
pretty
did
good.
you enjoy? Good.
I was kind of surprised that it was entertaining and yet had very little to do with Freddy.
Exactly, right? Because you're thinking like Robert Englund's going to be all Freddy Krueger. No, but they did a really good job of like covering his full career, not making it just like, oh, this is a Freddy Krueger documentary.
Or
You know?
lingering on V either, for that matter. Like,
Yes,
they really
yes.
don't very much.
No. So it was really good.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
in there, don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cool.
yeah,
Awesome.
they do a good job of like covering like how he got into becoming an actor, what he went through, like the bit parts, like with Burt Reynolds, and like he knows so many damn like famous people. It's like so one of the things like when he was when he got to Freddy, like he had already worked with like amazing A-list celebrities, being this bit character and stuff, and then he sort of became that a little bit with Freddy and stuff, and it kind of it kind of does wear on him a little bit about being Freddy. And then he like accepted it, and it was really good.
And I kind of knew most of the story before, but of course the most famous one in there is probably how he was damn close to playing Han Solo.
Yes.
I never knew that part of it. I knew the other side of it, but I didn't know that part. Like, he was talking about how it was down to like him and a couple other people until Harrison Ford ended up getting the part.
Yep.
But he goes, what might have changed the fate of it all, because William Katt was another one who was that fucking close to getting the part of Luke.
Yeah, Luke. And then, this story was
and
amazing.
he tells this because him and we get like all different sides of the story, because we get the side of the story from William Katt, Robert, and so on. We've heard, I think, Hamill's side of the story in the past, where basically Hamill and England happened to be roommates at the time, casting for because there was casting for Carrie and Star Wars at the same time. I think Robert originally went in for casting on Carrie, and they said, well, to go try out for Star Wars instead.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried out for Han Solo, and he was pretty close to getting the part, but even closer was William Katt, who was in like the final 3 of getting Luke Skywalker, until all of a sudden Mark Hamill shows up. And Mark Hamill showed up because Robert Englund and him happened to be fucking roommates. And he's like, I just tested for this part down here. You might be right for this Luke Skywalker part. You might want to go down and test for it.
Right. So it's like Robert Englund made Mark Hamill Luke Skywalker.
Right. Which kind of almost parallels the weird story of Johnny Depp, because for those who don't know the other side of it, Jackie Earle Haley, who went on to play Freddy Krueger in the remake, went down to test for Glenn in the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and he didn't get the part. But Johnny Depp was hanging around with him.
Mm-hmm.
It was his ride to Johnny Depp's band band practice. Just hanging around, and everybody's like, "Here, why don't you? You're about right age for this. Why don't you go in and test for it?" And then it just so happened to be that they had photos there of all the people that tested, and Wes Craven had it down to like the 4 or 5 that he liked, and he showed them to his daughters, and his daughters go, "That one," and they both pointed at Johnny Depp, and they're like, "Why?" And they go, "'Cause he's dreamy."
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that one. It's crazy how they like all.
I didn't
connected
know
like
the
that.
William Cat part of it, and I didn't know that he tested. I didn't know Robert tested for Han Solo and actually almost got the part 2 there because
Yeah.
he was one of the ones that they considered. Yeah.
I've literally been thinking in my head like, man, what if Robert Englund was Han Solo?
Well, and he said at that point they had in the script that he had the sides because he stole the sides. He said even though they weren't giving the script out to anybody, he goes. But I think he goes. The impression I got, I think in the if you remind me or correct me if I'm wrong how he says it, Greg, but it's like the impression I got from when they were testing at that point, Han Solo was a bit more of a cynic and a bit darker.
Yeah.
He became more of the comic in a contemporary, like in the age range. He goes, he became more of an adult later on when they casted Harrison, is what he said. But because of course Robert at that time was closer in age to, he wasn't young, but he was in his 20s or whatever.
It's like Han Solo was not supposed to be like the Han Solo we got. That didn't happen until like Harrison Ford came in. But yeah, it was
more of a big brother role.
Yeah.
Yep. You think Robert Englund would have enjoyed the part more than Han Solo?
I think it would have been an interesting version of it.
Yeah.
Fun.
No, but like I don't think Robert Englund would be that guy like Han Solo was, where he's like, "Oh, I want this character killed off," and all that type of shit.
Han Solo would still be alive.
Yeah, that was the other question that came up in my head. I'm like, man, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird.
Well, and you just don't realize how big and long of a career Robert has had and how many different things he's done. And of course he talks a lot about the parts with Freddie have more to do with him just coping with it, right? And it's really great to get in the inside of actors' minds, especially ones that get iconic roles like these, to just kind of pick their brain and see how it works. Because they're like, yeah, I had to turn down. Robert was like, I had to turn down a lot of really great roles that they wanted me for because of Freddie, but at the same time, I got to be Freddie.
Exactly.
So it's kind of a trade-off in a way, and there's a lot, like even he brings up like Boris Karloff and other guys who, of course, Boris didn't get Frankenstein till way later in life. And, that kind of a thing made his career. Before that, he was struggling actor and bit part player and, character actor, more or less. It wasn't until that he became Boris Karloff, the household name. So like, he's like you said, I'm Robert Englund. I'm a household name. What more can you ask for, really?
Exactly. And that answers your question there, Brian Barth, why he didn't appear more. Because once he got to Freddy, it's like he couldn't, he was Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Commitment. And then by the time the Freddy phase went out, it was, he was no longer in style for that. And he's done a lot of like independent, low budget horror movies and stuff that he just really enjoys. And he did a lot of work in Europe.
Well, you can tell he just loves being an actor.
Right. I mean, like everybody that they
if he could do it for free and get fed, he would do it. Right.
Yeah.
You could tell it has he's one of those actors you can tell it has very little to do with, because he could probably have gotten much richer off of Freddy than he did. I'm sure, but you can tell he's in it for the craft, for the fun of it, and he loves actors and acting. You can tell that's
awesome.
What he's really about.
Yeah, everybody said he would walk up, handshake him. Oh, I know you from this, and this. Like, and it's like this person who's a brand new actor or whatever. And
really
like,
obscure shit.
Yeah, obscure stuff. And like they said like he knows everything. He's friendly, and from everything like he's been to where people took him aside and told him what to do, he likes to do that with people on sets of movies. Like it's his job and he loves it, and he would really do it for free. Like Tom said, he would really do this for free. And I think that's why he does so many like these low budgets, like because he just loves to work and do that stuff. It doesn't matter if it's big or small production to him. So,
speaking of Robert Englund, I'm actually going to meet him in a couple of weeks.
I know. I mean, Mike was talking about that earlier. See you later, Sean. Have a good night. The replay will be up for you.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be at Horror Hound.
I know.
This upcoming Horror Hound. I'm really excited.
He's somebody I would love to meet. Would love to meet Robert Englund.
It's weird. Like there's a ton of good guests. this upcoming Horror Hound. Nev Campbell was supposed to be there, but she canceled, unfortunately.
Filming Scream 7, probably.
Oh god. Oh, did you hear they got a director?
Yeah, I heard it was the guy that did the Happy Death Day movies.
Yeah, and I didn't like those movies, so that doesn't really excite me all that much.
Technically, that first Happy Death Day movie is Scream. Just Scream with Groundhog Day.
Oh, I agree. I think compared to the Radio Silence guys, I think he's the better director, I'd say.
Yeah.
But because I've even heard, I've seen some people on Twitter like, oh my god, no, the Radio Silence people are like, thank God.
Not that I plan on seeing it, which I don't want to get in Scream because we talk too much shit for Scream.
I know.
I don't plan on seeing it, but I'm glad they're gone. But with that being said, any final words on this before we get back to you, Runner? Tom, any final words or anything?
I recommend it. I sadly did not get to watch any of the special features. There is some extended conversations and whatnot on here that looked like they might be interesting that I didn't get a chance to check into. So hopefully they're neat and worth it. But yeah, I can recommend it just as the documentary line. And I believe it's free on Screenbox right now, isn't it?
Yes, it's on Screenbox. And then the guy that made this, the director who made this, has got the RoboDoc coming out on Screenbox and Blu-ray. So
nice.
Yeah,
I'll have to check it out someday.
Oh, I wonder if that's still the same RoboDoc that they originally had talked about years ago then. But yeah.
I believe because it's the same director. I believe they said they're airing it's like 4 or 5 hours RoboCop documentary.
Wow.
Yeah, he did everything just like he did with this and it. He did it, and this. So he interviewed everybody, and they're like airing it as episodes on Screenbox, like 5 episodes on Screenbox. But the Blu-ray will be coming after that, and I don't know how they're doing the Blu-ray, but yeah. So
yeah, I got the date for the Blu-ray from Bill Hunt posted it today, so that was one I missed in the news and rumors. But yeah.
But yeah, I highly recommend this too. I did do a review on this. You can check out my review.
Too bad they didn't use my interview with Robert Shea to kind of confirm because that was the first place that anybody had ever really threw what's his face, the director of Freddy vs. Jason, under the bus for making the decision on Kane.
Right.
Because he kind of there was kind of some confirmation in there. And if you go to our interview, I think Robert says that, yeah, I'm pretty sure that came down to the director. It was up to him.
Yeah, I think he talks about it. And yeah, he talks about it because like he said, with the art that they were drawing with Jason, and like when Ken Kurzing came in, he's like, oh no, you're Jason. He didn't even bother to call Kane.
Well, that was the whole thing is Kane kind of, everybody else kind of thought it was a done deal until, oh God, I just forgot the damn director's name. The guy
Ronnie Yu.
Ronnie Yu decided he wanted a different kind of, and this is kind of what Bob had told us. And I had talked to somebody else, I can't say who, had kind of said some similar things to that sense of basically, yeah, like it was all down to Ronnie Yu. It was all Ronnie Yu.
And you can tell.
Actually, I might even be able to say who that was because they probably wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to, just in case.
Yeah, I get you. But you can tell, like when they talk to Kane Hodder about it, it really still upsets him to this day.
Oh yeah.
You can tell he's like, I went in, we had a conversation, and it was like all done. And then the next thing I know, Ken's Jason, and nobody ever called me. It's one of those
things.
He's like, nobody ever called me.
If anybody else was directing it, like on a lower level than Ronnie Yu at that time, like you guys got to remember, that's the other thing is when Ronnie Yu had come in, he had just done Bride of Chucky and shit like that. So he was the new hot commodity to revamp your horror franchise. I guarantee you, if it was any other director, well, first of all, any other director would have picked fucking Kane.
Oh, guaranteed.
Let's be real. Like even Tom McLaughlin probably would have picked Kane or any of those guys if you'd have brought them in. And that's the thing is, I'm sure you talked to some of the same guys I did, and they all told you the same thing. They all pitched and did a deal for everybody in Hollywood, did a thing for Freddy versus Jason that ever could have. And that's the thing is, and that was kind of the foregone conclusion that everybody I've talked to has said the same thing. They could not fucking believe it, that it all boiled down to Ronnie Yu not wanting him because he didn't like how bulky he was.
Yeah, he wanted like a taller, slimmer.
He wanted lankier, taller, and he wanted to be more like Frankenstein.
Yeah,
he supposed to be like Frankenstein monster.
Frankenstein.
It's like, no, you dumb shit. It's Jason. It's Kane fucking Hodder. That's what the people wanted. They wanted to see Kane versus Robert. That's
exactly.
what people want.
And I do like. Go ahead, Renner.
I was gonna say, what's the guy who played Jason in Freddy vs. Jason?
Ken Kersinger, I believe.
Who actually did stunt once for Jason, but that's not even
Mhm.
the fucking point. They use that as a real loose tangential thing to kind of like fucking be like, no. And that in the Freddy versus Jason is one of the worst Jasons ever. That's the other problem. So like,
It wasn't my favorite of the Jasons.
Well, he just wanted to be a lumbering, dumb fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know that dude who played Jason's actually gonna be at Horror Hound also. He's doing a photo op, a duo photo op thing with Robert Englund.
Well, Brian asked a good question there. How was Jason before Kane? Well, there was various people who played him. And there was what Kane did is he took all the things that people did before, but he also gave Jason this thing where he was, and this is what sucks about that. And I guarantee you that line was written specifically for Kane. When Freddy as Jason's mother says, "You're just so stupid. You're like a dumb dog who doesn't know when to stop eating."
Mm-hmm.
Because what Kane brought to the table is he made Jason kind of like this curious dog sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Like
And
with the way he moved his head and stuff.
with the way he moved his head and observed things. Just kind of like a dog, like like an attack dog at the same time, though, like curious at some points, but then as soon as he goes for the attack, and that's where you get those quick, swift moves out of Kane.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, he knew when he was going for what he was going for, that was it. And Kane had that thing, and part of it also was just the way he would breathe and the way he wouldn't just sit there and breathe like this. Yeah, he would put his arms into it, and it was just the whole body was into it. And you could just feel the seething through him sometimes.
Yeah,
just the way
he was just like, yeah.
Unlike the other guys, sometimes it felt like a stuntman just being Jason. Otherwise, the guy from 4 and 6 probably did the best jobs ever. I'm trying to remember their names now.
Wasn't it like CJ something? I think
CJ something or other is the one from 6.
Yeah, he was like the second.
And I think Kane borrowed the most from him because if you look at his performance compared to, like, you could almost think that was Kane Hodder in that role.
Mm-hmm.
CJ Graham and Ted White. Yeah, Ted White was really good too. Ted White was just an old school. See, Ted White was an old school fucking stuntman though, so he kind of knew how to play these roles. And I believe he also ended up playing Michael Myers at one point too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I believe he did. Yeah,
in a stunt, if not at least, but like
I'm with Tom on that. I mean, as much as I do actually like Freddy vs. Jason, it's not. It's a bad movie, but it's a fun bad movie. But they made a lot of mistakes. It should have been Kane Hodder, and I do like that for Robert Englund in the documentary. It's like he still has Kane Hodder's back, even though he did it. I mean, it's not like he was not going to do Freddy versus Jason all the time.
Well, and that's what I was getting at. Is no,
like sticking up.
Not even
Kane.
Robert Englund would have had, outside of literally pulling the poker move of, if you don't have Kane, then I'm not going to be Freddy.
Yeah,
that's the only card he could have played.
Yeah.
And if he already signed a contract, what the fuck can he do? Right? So he was probably stuck in the situation, and you could tell he wasn't happy about it.
Oh yeah, you could tell, because he's like even Kane Hodder said, like, Robert Englund came up to me after the movie and was like, it's Englund versus Hodder, that's what people want to see, so it was like, we knew that's what everybody wanted, but at the end of the day, it's just like kind of that's the way it was.
Yeah, that sucks.
Too late now.
That man, that could have been.
Yeah, it's too late now.
Because Robert is really, it sounds like he's done playing Freddy, which is sad because it's like, dude, there's ways you could still be a part of Freddy. You don't have to be the body. You can just be the voice and
right.
With all the deep fake technology and shit, there's masks and stuff now that you find somebody who can move like you, dude, and you train him to move like you move. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing too, because like
I can volunteer in that.
You have the right kind of body runner.
Exactly.
You just got to learn how to move, because that's the thing is
with Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, man.
And that's
when
the beauty of this documentary and seeing all of his other performances is you see that Freddy thing isn't just one time. Like, he does this all the time, and all of his characters, it's not just a voice. It's also a body movement and how he moves himself.
His mannerisms.
His mannerisms and the way and especially when he's Freddy, because he's always barrel chested forward as Freddy, kind of like, he always has this I don't know how he does it, but it's like this way that his swagger that he has with Freddy that he doesn't do any other time. And the way he walks is always like, if you also notice, it's one foot in front of the other kind of thing, always in like this way he does it, but it's always kind of at a sideways angle to it. And he does it in a way that always makes him look like he's coming at you bigger and bigger. And that's what the whole barrel chest thing too. He does it. And he knows how to do it because of his theatricality, right? And that's the shit that's missing when they had, Jackie Earle Haley is just not the same. He's not as imposing, even though him and Robert Englund are probably almost the same height. Because Robert Englund is not a big dude, from what I know. I've never met him face to face, but I can't imagine he's got to be that big because I've got an exact replica of the Nightmare 3 glove, and that's the one they made specifically for him because the original one got lost after that. The original one was just made, generically for anybody to wear. I cannot fit my fucking hand in that glove.
Right.
So that tells me he's got a small hand.
I think he's like 5'9", maybe.
I mean, yeah, he's probably close to the same height as me, but he has look at my hand and compare. Like, dude's probably got a small hand.
I was gonna say he's 5'9". That's a little taller.
I think he might even. I think he's less than that. I don't even think he's that
5'8", 5'6".
I was gonna say because
I mean, he looks tall, but I don't know if he really is that tall. That's the thing.
I'm gonna look up his height real quick. Let's see.
I'd be surprised if he's 5'9" or more.
But it's funny because
he's 5'10".
Yeah, then he's more like 5'8", 5'9". Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe even shorter than that, more like a 5'4". The script will be the first to tell you they always lie about that.
Yeah, they always lie, but they 2-3 inches higher than they actually are. But yeah, it's just like when they tried to replace Robert in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. People knew. I mean, it wasn't working. People
that was what I was going to say too. Yeah, it's that one shot where you know it's not him.
That's not him.
Dan Black, right?
Exactly. Tom Cruise.
That's
right, Bart. We're getting a Friday the 13th TV series on Peacock.
Yes, I've been bugging. Well, I should bug him again. I haven't bugged him in a while about it.
Isn't that A24?
Yes,
Brian Fuller's running the show, and so I've been bugging Robert about some updates on him. Like, I want to hear what's going on. What's going on?
As far as the movies department, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see how that plays out.
I'm curious to see what he does because he worked on that Hannibal series, and if they do something kind of in the vein of the Bates Motel Psycho prequel series thingy, because from what we heard, and I think Robert backed this up, was like the show is supposed to be kind of like things happening before and in between all the movies, but it's not supposed to undo or do over any of the movies.
Okay, so that makes me happy.
So yeah, it's supposed to be kind of like, I'd imagine like the first season might be like younger Mrs. Voorhees and meeting Elias and their courtship, her getting pregnant, having Jason, finding out he's got difficulties and all that. And that, that'll probably be all the first season, kind of earlier season stuff. And then that'll lead into like some of the things. And then, maybe they'll jump eventually to like later on after he's already dead.
Right.
Or we get to see the first killing, beyond the first killings. Like maybe there was some other, because there was other things that happened. They talked about like the poisonings and they poisoned the water one year she did and some other stuff. So they tried opening before. So Lord knows how many other people that got killed that nobody even knew about.
It would be interesting to, not that I would say you could use this effect, but it would be kind of interesting to see like you said, we've never seen Jason's father, but to see Elias and like maybe how that happened, the relationship happened, how Jason can be. But it could be kind of be interesting to see like a parallel storyline with Elias in the present day, going, with everything that's going.
Well, that's what it sounds like. It might kind of do is dip in and out of between the movies and shit.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like maybe see what Elias is up to in the present day with Jason. Maybe that will lead to like Jason returning in like something that could be kind of interesting. So I'm
curious to see what it is. I'm not gonna write it off right away.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious myself. I want to see. And as far as the movies go, I don't know about it. The movies, how they're going to do, what they're going to do, but we'll see.
Yeah, because the rights are all fucked up now.
Mm-hmm.
And last I knew, yeah. It's been a mess.
Yeah.
Because originally they all thought, it's not going to be a problem because we're not going to lose Jason. But then now Jason is, so they're going to make a Friday the 13th movie called Friday the 13th that has nothing to do with, or something. I don't know. It's not going to have anything to do with, can't have anything to do with Jason. Maybe it'll be Josh.
Yeah.
Instead of a
That's so
hockey
dumb.
mask, he'll have on like a catcher's mask or something. I don't fucking know.
It's so dumb. I don't know.
I don't know what they're gonna do because they can't use Jason. Because even I was naive to think, oh well, they should be able to use adult Jason because that's its own thing. And no, that's derivative of the young Jason, is what the court said.
Right.
So yeah, they can't use. The only thing that Sean S. Cunningham got to keep was the name.
Mm-hmm.
Friday the 13th, and that's it. And I think Camp Crystal Lake, I think, was the only other thing he got. Or no, I don't think he did get that because
No, because like how they done the show.
He got that, and what else did he get? There was something else he got, but he doesn't even get the hockey mask version of Jason like everybody thought he was going to get.
Which is funny because he never wanted the hockey mask.
Which is funny, yeah. Irony of ironies, right?
Yeah, right.
That was what they were hoping for, was that, worst come to worst, because then they just don't ever have to retread the original ground again. You don't even have to call him Jason Voorhees as long as you can call him Jason, right?
Right.
But at this point, because New Line did have the rights to Jason, Jake Voorhees.
It's Jake from State Farm.
Jake from State Farm.
Don't
you lie to me, motherfucker. I know you a serial killer.
He's a guy, so.
Oh Lord.
All
No,
right.
it'll be interesting to see what they come up with, though.
Yeah, it would be. It's good.
All right, Runner, what do you got for us?
Yeah, what do you got, Runner?
All right, I guess I'll just show this one. This is a Vinegar Syndrome title. I watched it a few weeks back when I got the shipment.
Debbie Does Dallas 2.
Yes.
No.
Oh,
damn it!
One day.
They do have that at Vinegar Syndrome.
They do have it, but on Blu-ray. I didn't buy any Blu-rays.
The fact that both of you said it at the same time is hilarious.
Yeah, I think they do.
Motherfucker, I saw it.
I bought I only bought like 4K titles that were on sale because why not? I don't know. I've been collecting a lot of 4K lately and Blu-ray. But
what you got?
Yeah, what you got?
Dead Heat.
Dead Heat.
Really?
Oh, nice.
I like that movie.
Good release.
It's a fun, cheesy movie. I didn't think I'd like it as much, but I bought it just out of curiosity. It's got some really incredible lines that are quite bad, but are entertaining as fuck.
We talked about it when I brought it on here before. Did you bring it on too, Greg? I can't remember.
No, I didn't bring it on because you brought yours on. So.
Oh yeah, you did bring yours on once time. I forgot about that. But I think you got the original slipcover.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got the cool with the badge.
I didn't.
It's Vincent Price's last movie. It's a fun movie. It's not the greatest movie in the world, but it was
a cable standard back in the day.
Yes.
Like we saw that movie on cable all the time.
You know what's funny? Speaking of what's not, it's like the guy that did the special effects in that movie with like the zombies and everything. He worked with Robert Englund on a lot of his special effects, and he actually tells a story in the Robert Englund movie where he smeared up goo all over Robert Englund's junk for one of his new movies. So, he's like, so I can tell people now I rubbed goo all over Robert Englund's old junk. But yeah, he did all like the zombie effects, and
you're gonna have to come do something about my junk.
Yeah, you got to cover this up.
I love his story though about that lead up to that though, because he's like, I'm old, I don't give a shit. I just threw my clothes.
It's so good. But yeah, Dead Heat is great. It's a fun movie. The 4K looks pretty good too. So
yeah, the animatronics on the cooked animals and that pig and shit and that turkey were just really good.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, aren't you? I thought Edward Scissorhands was his last two.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Steven, I think you're right. I think
Dead Heat was right before Edward Scissorhands.
It was just before, but like Edward Scissorhands was what, 91, 92?
Yeah.
Were they both released the same year?
I think what it was is Dead Heat was his last theatrically. No, this is 1988.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah.
No, yeah. So
and Edward Scissorhands was theatrical. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but he died before the movie came out. That was the weird thing, if I remember right.
But
before.
Yeah, just right before, sadly. But it's a fun movie. It's a great special effects. Like everything comes alive zombie wise.
I like the concept a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's a really neat concept, and like a lot of the lines that Joe Pescopo has are just so
Yeah.
like hilariously like cheesy, but like hilarious at the
It's
same
fun.
time. It's fun. Like the part where like a pig, like a cooked pig jumps on him and he's like, I think I lost my appetite or some shit like that. And
I mean,
and then that one that the scene in the third act when he's like being mind controlled.
oh
and,
yeah.
and Treat Williams tries to like jog his memory back by like talking to him and shit, and he's like, Roger. I think that was his character's name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Joe Pescopo like turns around and he's like, he wanted me to hurt you. I'm gonna hurt him.
It's great. It's a fun, cheesy, bad movie. I love it.
It's so good, man.
It's the thing is like
it might be like one of, if not my favorite cheesy bad movie ever. I don't know.
it's good. And you know what's funny is like Linnea Quigley was actually supposed to be in that movie. She filmed the scene, everything. They cut it out of the movie because
I could see her being in a movie like that.
well, her husband, like I was saying, the guy that did her husband was the guy that did the special effects. He was that guy. He's the guy that worked with Robert Englund. She's actually in A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. She's one of the faces where they're pushing out of his chest in Nightmare on Elm Street 4. But no, he did like she was his wife. I think there's might be divorced now. I'm not sure, but yeah, she was filmed a scene that should be on the deleted scenes there if you haven't watched them, if I remember correctly. But it's a fun movie. I love that if you guys have not seen it, yeah, Roger Mortis.
Yeah.
This is like they're dead people, rigor mortis, Roger Mortis. It's like, who come up, let's do a buddy cop movie, but let's make them zombies. They both die.
Yeah, I like the concept. I it's funny, as I was watching it, I was just like, God, is this one of those movies that's gonna have an amazing concept, but it's gonna have a shitty ending? And then the ending happened. I'm like, okay, yeah, that was good.
It's the only logical ending, really.
Yeah, I know. I was so worried they'd fuck it up somehow.
Yeah.
Like
You're talking about Steve Johnson too before, by the way.
Yeah, Steve Johnson is the guy. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Runner. Go ahead.
No, I couldn't remember his name. That's why I was like, kept saying that guy. That guy. Thank you. I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, I thought it was gonna have a shitty ending. I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah,
I was worried it would be one of those movies.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's good. Yeah, the Steve Johnson guy there, he does amazing special effects. Like when they told him to do like everything comes alive, so he like made everything come to life and stuff.
It's funny because he doesn't get credit for it. He's not even uncredited on
Really?
IMDb. Yeah.
I saw it. Where did I see an interview with him about that? You know what it was in? It was in Search of Darkness.
Mm.
It was.
Yeah, he doesn't say anything in here.
Yeah, because he's in which one is it? Part 2. It's either part 2 or 3 in Search of Darkness. He talks about he does it. He does the special effects.
Weird.
So, yeah.
Maybe I can update it, but yeah, he doesn't get credit or uncredited. He doesn't even list. He isn't even listed as uncredited here.
Weird.
Yeah. His earlier stuff, of course, was Ghost Story, Biohazard, Predator. Predator was uncredited. That says it at least. And then, of course, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yep.
4. Yep. Howling 5 or 4. 4.
He was the
Leviathan.
Monster Squad.
It doesn't even have Monster Squad on here.
Really? He was the Gillman.
This is just for makeup, though. This is.
Oh yeah, well effects. Yeah, okay.
So I mean, as far as like actor, well, let's look at makeup department. I guess that's 2 separate things here. Actually, that was just special effects. My bad. So makeup department. He gets credit for. Let's see, around that era. Oh, let's go back here. Oh yeah, his makeup department work goes all the way back to 1980. The Fog.
Yeah, he was in a lot.
Humanoids from the Deep. American Werewolf in London. That's what I was gonna say. He worked on. I thought he worked on American Werewolf in London as well. Videodrome, Greystoke, Howling 2, Planet of the Cave Bear, Big Trouble, Little China, Solar Babies, Night of the Demons, Dead Heat. There it is, right there. Dead
Heat. That's
a
hell of a resume, right there.
Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Howling 4. It goes on and on and on from there. But like, yeah,
that's how he met Linnea Quigley.
Yeah, he's worked on like. He's one of the more prominent guys, lesser known but more prominent guys.
Yeah. Because I hear.
I think he even worked on like Ghostbusters, and he's not credited here for that.
Yeah, he's been like one of them guys that seems to be able to do anything.
I could have swore he
anywhere.
worked on Slimer.
That's what. Yeah. I think I remember seeing something like that.
Well,
But
not
yeah,
only that, I remember
Ray, it's looking at me.
because I think also Gary Ambrosia. I don't know if that's who he got it from directly, but I could have swore he said something because he's got one of the original Slimers from one of the molds from the maquette that they used for. He believes the scene with the Slimer going around and around and around the deal, because it didn't have arms.
Huh.
And well, because they did it that way because the original puppet, the bigger full-sized one, an actual puppeteer, a lady, had her arms up in the puppet like this. And then for the long shots, they were supposed to use this, but then there's also it's a long story. He was telling me about it. I'll have to ask him again about it just to get the specifics, but he's got the little maquette. And I believe Steve Johnson is the one who fucking did that. And I think he said that.
Huh. Well, I bet he's worked on a lot that's uncredited, man.
Because Steve also, I think, did... Because who else did he say he did that? And he did... There's a couple other... No, Chris Wayless was the one he said worked on that one. Chris Wayless. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Chris Wayless. So Gremlins, Chris Wayless actually designed that.
There you go.
And I don't think he gets credit for it.
But yeah.
Like, I remember now, I was like, oh yeah, because now I can see the gremlin face in the original Slimer face too, which is funky.
Yeah. But yeah, that dude did great. Like that's why I remember from like Night of the Demons. Like, no, the guy, that's fine. It's like that's how he said he met.
But Steve's worked on a lot of shit too. Yeah.
He like had to make a mold. He had to make a mold of her breast. So like he was making
Steve
a mold
Johnson
of her breast.
did work on, because didn't he work on? I think he worked on both Ghostbusters and Fright Night.
Yeah.
So maybe he did I don't think he did Slimer, but I think he worked on the puppet for the librarian, which is also the other version of it they used for Fright Night. That's on the poster for Fright Night, if I remember right, because I think that's his. That might be his. That might be the story I'm swapping out for the other. So yeah, because there's a lot of these guys who don't get the credit for the shit they've done, because they were working either moonlighting or they were working under somebody else who got all the credit. And yeah, because like I said, Chris Wayless, I never knew he did fucking Slimer.
Yeah,
he was making Gremlins at that time.
It's amazing, like when you go back and look through all this stuff. Like these.
Well, and I don't think he gets credit on there. He might be credited as like certain like special visual effects or something like that, but he doesn't. He never. Somebody else has given the credit for Slimer for years, and I can't remember who it was. And Gary had said something about that too. But yeah, like the final design, because the original design. The weird thing about it, because the whole story it gets convoluted because Dan Aykroyd's version is the one that everybody remembers, but the behind the scenes version was a little different. Like, because Dan come in, looked at the first version of it, and he said he liked it, but he wanted it to look more like John Belushi. So then Chris Wayless redesigned it, didn't make it look like Belushi, but it looked like it ended up looking. But according, he just came in and said, "Oh, it looks great. It looks just like John." And they're like, "We didn't even try to make it look like John, but whatever." I can't remember the exact whole story. Gary told me. It's kind of interesting how it worked out, but like, yeah, he was just like, "Yep, it works. It's great." And I don't think they changed even that much from the original design to that one. There was just like the face and like a couple other things they tweaked. And I can't remember what it was, but like, yeah, I'd have to go look through the actual designs and talk to Gary about it. It's an interesting story. It's the little intricate things you don't always get to hear about in the making of documentaries and stuff that I know not everybody's really interested in, but I find kind of quirkingly interested, if that's a word. Quirky.
I'm with you, man. It's like we're film nerds. So like that's what I'm saying. We love that we like to talk about.
Well, that's what I love about this documentary here too, is because it does get into the deep dive of just being an actor, and you get some of the stories you never would hear. And that's what I love. Yeah, you guys would be amazed with some of the shit that I've talked to with some of the guys I've talked to that's hit the cutting room floor, because they'll tell this really great story. And of course, that's going to have to get cut out.
Yeah.
You know, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, because of times, or sometimes it's just like, yeah, because of certain people involved with the story, they can't let it get out there. But
Yeah.
we've heard some great fucking stories that I wish we could talk about in certain cases. But like,
It's kind of like the story William Catt tells in that, where you'd go backstage and then like you'd have to strip
Yeah.
off your clothes, and then you like the girl next to you is like this hot chick and she's naked and you're not supposed to look, but then you look, and then he kind of like
it's like, you might have to cut that out.
Yeah,
now.
you can't say that. I love that story because it's just like these old
Like, William
Hollywood
Catt's
dogs.
fucking based. Yes.
Exactly. William
Fuck
Catt
yes.
and Robert England and Lance Hendrickson is like they were telling stories about like just like checking out naked chicks.
Yeah.
Actually, it's like I love this shit. This is the stories you want to hear.
Even Robert flat out, I think, says it. You know, he noticed early on, and this is one of the reasons why I got into this shit too, because you go out for sports and you go to the parties afterwards and you realize it's 10 dudes per one chick.
Yeah.
You go out for fucking like drama and you go to the party afterwards, you realize it's 10 chicks per one dude.
Yeah, because like they're hanging
half
around.
those guys are fucking gay.
Yep.
So your odds go up. Oh yeah. Trust me, that's why that was one of the first things that got me interested in it, besides just liking movies. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hot chicks around here.
Yep. And
like to role play.
And if you're a straight dude in that area, because like Tom said, a lot of them are.
And they like to dress up.
So like it's like even like Robert English said, like I had a chick with their boob out on the left of me, a chick with their boob out on the right of me, and a chick in front of me with their belly in my face because they was belly dancers fixing my hair. He's like, I like this. This is what I want to do.
I like this attention. Exactly. Yes.
So yeah.
And women and that's
fantastic.
the other thing too. And this is how I know so much about women. People ask me like, well, how do you know so much? It's like, dude, you hang around in enough fucking theater circles for a while, you hang out with enough women who know most of these guys are gay and don't give a fuck that the other ones aren't, because half of them they've already friend zoned them or fucked them.
Yeah.
So it's really when they say the theater family, it really is kind of this weird fucking thing, because women really just kind of let loose. And you kind of see a side of them that you don't normally see. And this is where sometimes I say shit about women. It's like, oh no, I know how women are when they are worse than men when it comes to some of the shit they talk about and they get into it. I'll tell you what, the fucking theater broads, they were some of the freakiest bitches out there.
Now you know why a lot of them dudes got back into it in the day, man. Especially just like listening to William Catt and them. That was like, what they got into that. Yeah. But yeah, great pick, Runner. Dead Heat, good movie. I'm glad you picked that up. Bronson, not really
you got a bunch of young people with hormones going crazy together in a confined space, usually. Yeah,
for months at a time.
Exactly.
Doing the same thing over and
like
over.
I say, 9 times out of 10, if you think those people have fucked on screen, they have, because you don't get that many good looking people in one place at one time without them fucking each other. 9 times out of 10, if your leading lady isn't fucking your leading man, it's because he's gay.
It's true.
Or she's fucking the director already. One or the other. That's usually the case.
Makes a ton of sense.
That's why when people are like, do you think Will Smith fuck yes, Will Smith not only fucked Margot Robbie, he fucked her rotten over and over and over again.
Oh, of
on
course.
2 movie sets.
Oh, I'm good.
Dude,
this is going to get
have you
that thing, because I've been
I
getting
guarantee you, he fucked her several times in the fucking costume and makeup as fucking he can say he fucked Harley Quinn.
I was gonna say, like they've been in 2 movies together and they have incredible chemistry.
Exactly.
Well, like before Suicide Squad, they were in a movie called I think it was Focused.
That's what he's talking about. That's what happened.
Yeah,
I know. Well, I know, because I remember seeing that movie and I'm like, yeah,
that's literally the movie they said that they happened down.
You know, they did.
Well, it makes sense because those two.
Like it's just like I'm pretty sure Billy Bob Thornton laid the pipe to Halle Berry.
You can't tell me Margot Robbie ain't a freak.
Oh, are you kidding me?
She's British and she was showing her shit off on fucking Wolf of Wall Street. She's a freak.
Yeah,
believe you me.
I thought she's
Australian.
Or Australian. I'm sorry, that's what I meant.
Australian.
Australian. Did I say British? I meant Australian.
Yeah.
But it's just like I believe Billy Bob Thornton did it to Halle Berry in Monsters Ball. I truly believe that's just too realistic not to.
Well, yeah, they
not
did
to
it.
happen. Yeah, I mean that was like you could tell.
I don't know,
that
maybe
was-
not. I don't know. Billy Bob is one of those. He's a weird one. See, that's the thing. These ugly fuckers in Hollywood, Willem Dafoe, Billy Bob Thornton. One thing they all have in common: they have an anaconda between their fucking knees. That's what I've heard.
I mean,
And
how
I
else
said
did he get?
knees, motherfucker, knees.
How else did he get Angelina Jolie?
Exactly.
But before we move on to you, Tom,
And
for
he
your next
fucked
pick-
her up.
He did. Oh, I'm so getting
Willem
so,
Dafoe to
Willem Dafoe supposedly has a massive cock too. Yes.
yeah.
James
No, but-
Woods is
no, but
another one.
to
Even though he's a
Angelina
good-looking
Jolie?
guy, but yeah.
No, Billy Bob Thornton married
Billy Bob
Oh,
Thornton.
okay.
Billy Bob Thornton is
Okay.
another one who supposedly has an anaconda
Yeah.
between his knees. Yeah.
All you gotta do is watch that movie with Greg Kinnear and Willem Dafoe about the guy that did Hogan's Heroes. Yeah, just watch that if you're ever curious.
Yeah, you sit there and ask yourself, how do these ugly motherfuckers? That's how.
but yeah, I'm getting not suitable for advertisement after this show.
No shit. Well, we're deep enough into the show now.
It keeps like every week it gets.
Maybe if I add a laugh track here.
But before we get to your pick, Bronson wants to know what's your favorite dramatic performance by a comedian and what's your favorite comedic performance by a serious actor.
That's a great question. I'd have
Yeah,
to think
because
on
it
a
is. I
moment.
wanted to
Ooh.
get to that before we moved on because it's a hard one.
I'm trying to think. I watched the Truman Show not too long ago.
a good one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Jim Carrey was fucking great in that. That was more of a drama to me.
You know, kind of like Robin Williams in Dead Poets Society is pretty. That's a pretty good performance. It's hard. That's a hard question.
You know what?
Mike Myers in Cat in the Hat is probably the best dramatic performance I've ever seen in my life.
Wait, was that Mike? I thought that was Alec Baldwin.
He's in
Myers-
that movie too.
He is
isn't
in the movie, but
No, in seriousness though, I don't know if you could count this as a dramatic turn. But Jim Carrey as Andy Kaufman in Man on the Moon has always been
yes, that's a good one.
one of my go-tos.
Yes, I
as
would
far
say
as,
that's
like,
dramatic. I would count that. I mean, because it's a true story, even though he was a
serious
comedian.
actor playing comedy though. Serious actor. You know, the one that was probably
That's
the
easy.
most surprise. Well, go ahead.
Leslie Nielsen.
Maybe well,
because he was a serious actor up until the police stories, Naked Gun.
yeah. No, I know what you're saying, but I'm trying to think of somebody who doesn't normally do it and doesn't still do it that much afterwards. But no, that's if that's your pick, that's your pick.
That's pretty much mine. But I'm trying to think.
I like De Niro is one. I guess I would jump to like when he did like Analyze This and That.
Yeah, that's
and Meet the Parents.
Yeah.
That was kind
But
of a
even then, he
different
kind
turn
of
for
plays
him.
it straight still.
He's still playing, yeah. So I'm trying to think of something more clever than that. Like I'm trying to think of somebody who was surprisingly funny in something that I never expected them to be. I mean, Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber was probably a surprise.
Yeah, I'll go with you on that one.
Of course, you'd probably have to be a little older to kind of because you'd have to have seen him in a bunch of his other stuff first, right? But I think simply just because hadn't he done that like Civil War miniseries and stuff like that at that point?
Yeah.
Because I remember thinking of him as kind of like the dramatic act. I'm like, what the hell is he doing?
Yeah, I'm with Brian Barth. Tom Cruise in Tropic Thunder. That's a good.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Mhm.
That's a definite good one.
Bill Hader.
But
Bill Hader's a comedian, but I mean, what has he done serious? Though I'm trying to think.
The movie with where they play twins, where he's like, that's a serious sort of movie.
He was in It Chapter 2 as well, and
yeah.
But I mean, I'll say this: even Tom Cruise has some comedic stuff other than Tropic Thunder.
Joe Pesci.
Tough
Home
part.
Alone.
You know what? Not so much Home Alone, but there you go. Joe Pesci in My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Because that's Oscar caliber.
Mhm.
God, because this is a tough one because you get great.
Charlie Sheen, the Hot Shots.
Well, that's another good point. Because there's these great actors who play in comedies, but they generally play similar, like the whole Robert De Niro thing.
Yeah, Gene Hackman and the Royal Tenenbaums. That's a
See,
great
that's-
one.
Like
he
Leo
playing-
Wolf of Wall Street, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
it's like, what is comedy? What is serious? That's like.
See, I kind of get where he's coming from because that is almost classified as that's a hilarious fucking movie.
Oh yeah, great.
Because like I could think of somebody like James Woods in The Hard Way, but he's basically playing James Woods to Michael J. Fox, right? Like,
Right,
I don't want to pick something like that. So I'm trying to think of something really good that is an unexpected one. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to come back to it. It'll pop in my brain. I'll be like, oh, you know.
Yeah. But good question. Good question, Bronson.
That's a great question.
Yes.
Yeah.
But to you, Tom, what's your
well, actually, I know one that's a good one. Well, no, that's not good because as I say, there was a cameo by Charles Grodin that made me laugh that I forgot about, but Charles Grodin has been in plenty of comedies, so he knows how to do comedy.
Yeah. Which we'll talk a little bit about.
Well, we're going to talk about here in a few minutes.
Yeah.
I didn't think about this one until Bryant Bart brought it up. John C. Reilly. That's a good one.
Well, he started, because he started as serious.
Yeah,
and then but that's the weird thing is he was always the goofy guy in serious movies, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it's weird because like he's been in a lot of like Paul Thomas Anderson movies, which those were probably the more serious movies he's been in.
But he always plays the goofy guy, though. That's the problem.
That's true because like even when he played that cop in Magnolia, it was like kind of comedic. But
Jamie Foxx is a good one because he started on In Living Color.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Joe Pesci also was in Lethal Weapon. He was the comedic relief in that as well. We can't he always kind of was the comedy relief. So I don't know if that's a fair one. I mean, of course, he did have Goodfellas and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good goddamn question, but we'll be here all night.
Yeah, we would be good.
But John C. Reilly is one that kind of surprised me because I grew up with like seeing him in more like comedic roles, and then like I saw him when he was like a little bit younger and like Boogie Nights and shit, where he was like a lot more serious.
And the reason I'm having more of a problem picking the serious as a comedy is because it is so much harder for a serious actor to do comedy than it is for a comedian to do serious work. Yep. And that's pretty obvious when you see like Jim Carrey, Robin Williams, and all those guys.
Adam Sandler is up there, I think.
Even he has done a few more dramatic roles to where it's like when they twist that notch over to drama, it's like, oh yeah, well of course, because they know how to work a crowd.
Yep.
No, but like
easy.
like Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems, like that's really good.
I haven't seen that one yet. I saw the one he did where he was trying to think of what it was called now. Where he's screaming and hollering through most of it. I didn't think it was very good though.
Yeah.
I think Paul Thomas Anderson directed that one too.
Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love. Thank you.
I liked that movie.
I thought it was okay, but I'm like, I don't really see Adam doing anything that's much different than what he normally does.
I don't know. I thought that
he does not. I have to see Uncut Gems and some of his other stuff. But now Paul Rubens, on the other hand.
Yeah, Paul
Speaking
Rubens,
of somebody who just passed away, we talked about earlier. Oh my God, his turn in fucking Blow and some other shit that he did after he had to put Pee-wee away for a while. My God, and I mean, even though it's comedy, he steals the fucking show in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah, he does. That's like you remember him more than you remember Rutger Hauer. You truly do.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot Rutger Hauer's even in the fucking movie.
It's like you would think that Paul Rubens is the bad guy, because he's the one doing everything.
He's still dying at the end. That's the best part. They should do a sequel to the movie, but I'm sad that he's still not with us. God damn it.
It would have been awesome if bring Christmas Monster back and
he still would be dying.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But anyways, what do you got for us, Tom? What's your next pick?
Okay, we're on my next pick now. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, since we talked about Robert Englund, this is a movie I've been wanting to get my hands on since I heard about it in Quentin Tarantino's cinema speculation book or whatever it's called. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, cinema speculation.
Yeah, cinema speculation. I had a brain fart. I'm sorry, guys. I need to eat something here soon. I'm getting kind of low blood sugar. So this is one I've been wanting to get my hands on, and I just said fuck it after I saw the bits in this Robert Englund movie, and since we had a week off, it all kind of worked out that I got both movies in the meantime. That the one that made me remind me of the other one, and That is the Tobe Hooper classic, Eaten Alive.
Oh yeah, I've been wanting to pick that up.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's Robert Englund's great in it,
Yeah.
and the main guy, Neville. What the hell's his name? Can't think of his first name. Neville's his last name. Both of them are really great in it. The rest of the movie's kind of weird, like especially considering this is not an early. It's early Tobe Hooper, but it's not like it's after Texas Chainsaw and a few other things. You'd think he gotten a little bit better as a filmmaker, but like you don't quite get some of the side characters in this movie.
Well, he was replaced as director, so
I've heard that, and I didn't really get to get into some of the special features in this, but it is a weird movie. Neville Brand. Neville's his first name. I'm sorry, I was the wrong way around. Neville Brand. Yes, he is good in this. Robert Englund's excellent in this. The alligator sucks as an actor. The little girl in it, oh my god, the shit she had to go through in this movie. I felt sorry for that kid by the end. I can almost imagine, considering how low budget this was, the shit that they put her through. But it's a bit of a gruesome film at times, but it's weird. It almost feels like it was shot in the 80s.
okay.
But it's 1976, I think, or 74. I can't remember which. Where's it at? 76. So yeah, there's certain aspects of it, like it looks really good. Of course, it's a 2K scan, although it looks like it was a 4K scan, which is really strange. But it's from the negative, so it also looks really good from that respect.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know if I can recommend it considering how pricey this Arrow disc is. It's like in the 20+ range, I think. But it is a nice piece of cinema history, being that it's, you know, Tobe Hooper directing Freddy Krueger and all.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of neat.
I was wanting to see that after watching that too, because that's one I haven't
And
seen.
of course, you know why this movie's the most famous, though. Well, of course, you know, Greg.
Yeah, because of the story he tells.
Well, not so much the story. You can tell that part, but the line.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm Buck,
My name is Buck,
and I'm raring to fuck.
Yep.
And you know who got that from where now. And what's fucked up is the story, Greg. Go ahead and tell it because of that line.
Are you talking about where he auditions?
Robert Englund auditioned to Tarantino, and Tarantino didn't give him the fucking job.
He was too old. He didn't get it. He told us. He said he did it, and he auditioned, and he had the glasses on and stuff, and he was like, it just wasn't working out, so he never got to be in a Tarantino movie.
Oh my god, that would have been
Tarantino.
Epic.
He was trying out for the part where he's trying out for Buck.
Yep,
the part that was inspired by him.
Yep, and he didn't get it.
And you can really tell how it's not just the line either. Like the character is very much inspired by Buck.
Yeah.
Dude, Robert Englund in a Tarantino movie would have been awesome.
It would have been. But like even like Robert was like, yeah, but I took him aside and I talked to Tarantino and I was telling him stories. It's like, okay, even though he didn't get it, he's like, that's how
there's
you know
still
Robert
time. There's still time. Maybe he'll pop up in the last Tarantino movie.
The movie critic.
Hopefully.
That'd be awesome.
That would
but
be
I know
cool.
so
well, he wants Bruce Willis to be in a fucking cameo in that movie.
Yeah, I heard that Bruce Willis might make an appearance in that.
I don't know if he'll make an appearance. I think Tarantino just said he wants him to.
That's what I said. Yeah, but
no, that's not what you said.
It's the same thing.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, but there's also another story to that Eaten Alive that Robert tells where when it was released overseas and stuff, they like when his character actually goes to. They added in actual penetration scenes,
porn scenes,
and he said, "That's not me. That's not my.
Not my junk.
It's not my junk." So it's also famous in other, which is weird. So I wonder if cuts of those exist somewhere out there for people to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's got like Eaten Alive has a troubled history, which I've been meaning to see it because I've hearing Robert talk about it, and then like knowing Tobe Hooper was on it, possibly taken off of it, the various cuts of the film, and Tarantino being inspired by it. It's something I really want to get to and want to see.
Yeah, he brings it up quite a bit in Cinema Speculation.
Yeah.
Obviously, for obvious reasons with the Buck bit, but yeah, it's one of the films that he highlights. And yeah, I've been trying to get all the ones that he's highlighted in it. So I'm getting there. I think I've gotten through about half of them now.
Yeah.
Close to it. Yeah, for those who may remember that way it kind of started, it intersected with the Robert England documentary. So
There's a great connection there.
it was-
Honestly, Brian, it's because most of those people, when they start in horror film, they grow this horror audience, and it really that gives them the bread and butter. And sometimes they get pigeonholed. That's like the truth of the matter there.
Yeah.
So, it's what they get known for, and it's where they
Yeah.
make their money. So,
Yeah, and sometimes it makes it to where it's harder to get bigger paydays for these things. And yeah.
mhm.
But Robert has embraced that, so
Yes.
and certain guys do sometimes, and gals.
Sometimes it eats at people, and other times people are like, you know what?
Yep.
I'm good with this.
Yep.
So,
That's
all
that.
right. That's that.
With that, what's your next pick?
With so for no reason whatsoever, it's Friday. You ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do. So,
Oh, I have that.
so I decided to watch Friday. I hadn't seen it in probably, I don't know, maybe 10 years.
How
And,
different is the director's cut? Because I have that, and I don't remember.
I don't really know because it's been like almost 10 years since I've seen the
I
original.
don't remember there being. I'm trying to remember what's all
I
different.
don't remember much difference, so it didn't. Nothing really stood out to me. So if whatever it is, it's very minuscule. So
Let's see here.
yeah, what is it?
The new edition of the movie introduces some characters a little earlier and slightly rounds the plot. Doesn't really
Okay.
change the movie for fans. It is an interesting consideration, especially Craig's dad. Okay.
It
I
could have
gotta-
been. Yeah,
I guess I'm gonna have to watch it again. I don't know. Maybe I haven't even watched the extended cut yet. I don't know.
it could have been like it did seem a little different when his dad walked in when he was going to make his bowl of cereal.
Mhm.
That scene did seem a little different. Maybe that's because I know his dad. What's his name? Oh my God! What is his name?
Witherspoon.
John Witherspoon. Yeah, they said he would deliver a line multiple different times. He would never keep it the same way. So they had trouble reining him in when he was on scene, on set doing his line delivery. But yeah, it is a great movie. I forgot how good it is.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I remember seeing it when I was a kid. And you know what's funny? It's what's really, really funny about this is like, even though I know it's about, these guys in the hood and stuff like I know people like that. Shit, half of my cousins are like that. Like those people, like the characters in that populate his where he lives.
Knocked the fuck out.
It's so funny because they made this movie and it's so relatable to. It doesn't matter what skin color you are. Like I'm like getting into this thing here. It's like doesn't matter what skin color you are. People like this where you grew up.
Oh, hell
Yeah. I mean, like I can't say I experienced a lot of the crime and stuff, but there's some of the crime is very similar to some of the people I've known and grown up with, and like some of my cousins remind me a lot of the people in that neighborhood. But it is such a damn good movie, and Chris Tucker is freaking hilarious. Ice Cube is so great.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, those two are fantastic.
It is just like they play so well off each other.
It's funny, I bought that movie for like $5 at this nearby record store that I didn't even know existed in my suburb. And they have like a bunch of DVDs and Blu-rays and shit over there. And that was one of the things I got.
It's a good movie, man. It had been so long. I kind of, after watching it again, I kind of wish they would never sequeled it out. And next Friday is all right, and then the Friday after
sequel, I didn't see it though.
Next Friday is all right. The Friday after next was, I kind of wish they wouldn't have sequeled it out after watching that first one because it's so good. It ends on such a good note, and it's like they said, like you would never imagine. Like people forget here, like Ice Cube when he played that role, he would have been more like they even talk about it in the special feature I watched on it. Is like he would have been a great Debo. Because he was known as like this hardcore rapper. Like he never smiled. He was this badass. He was like, so when he played Craig, who is like this more of like down to earth, like guy that smiles, is like Family Guy and all that. It was like they didn't want to, quite say he was going to be able to do it, but he pulled it off because he wrote it. You know, he wrote it and stuff. So like he pulled it off. I mean, it really did change Ice Cube's image for people and made him a much bigger star. And the movie is just like it is freaking hilarious, and it is so fun. Bernie Mac, when he shows up and he's the preacher and he catches him, and he's like, "Why don't you give me some of that for my cataracts?" And he wants some of that weed. And then he goes and Miss Parker across the street, and oh man, it's hilarious. It's such a good, fun movie, man.
You know,
it just makes you feel good when you watch it.
You know what's funny is like I only watched the movie like a month ago, or maybe even like before that or whatever, but like it was funny. Like one of my friends, like I went like this Halloween party I went to last year, like my friend dressed up as some character in Friday. I don't remember who it was exactly, but some of my friends were like, oh yeah, because they've seen the movie and I haven't at the time, but I bought it on Blu-ray for like $5. I'm like, it's just so I can get myself to watch it.
I remember when I got that movie from Columbia House with Clerks, a couple other movies.
Like the buy 6 get 1 free thing.
Yep. One weekend, I had a bunch of friends come over because my parents were out of town. So throughout the weekend, you know, it was like just a revolving party. And nobody, of course, had seen either one of those movies. Everybody had heard of Friday, wanted to see it. Nobody had ever heard of Clerks.
Right.
So all weekend long, those two movies were on a loop, basically, at my house, playing over and over and over and over again, introducing it to people. Like I'm not kidding when I said I'm possibly single-handedly responsible for making a shit ton of people in the Midwest fans of Kevin Smith inadvertently.
I had to force one of my friends to watch Clerks. Like one day, I was like hanging out in his house. And like we were scrolling through like streaming services and shit, and like Clerks came up. I was like, Clerks, we gotta watch that. My friend was like, no. He's like, you're watching Clerks, god damn it. And I had to like fight. I had to fight tooth and nail to get him to watch it, and he finally did.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was insane. But that was when I was like really huge into Kevin Smith.
I mean, I'm not much of a fan of him anymore, but I still say Clerks is solid.
Well, obviously.
But yeah, just like all the talk about Ice Cube lately, I really wanted to go back and watch Friday again. Because,
sadly, he's in fucking TMNT Mutiny.
Yeah, I knew that. But
yeah, I've heard people say he was one of the better parts.
Yes and no. Some of the shit's cringe because they got him saying like 6 o'clock in the morning, police knocking at my door. And shit like that in the movie, and it's like, oh.
Which is funny, like considering some of the stuff that Ice Cube is doing now and some of the stuff he's been saying. I don't think Seth Rogen would be too pleased.
That's just it, too. It's like kind of weird. It's like, are you sure you want this dude in your movie?
Yeah.
But then again, it sounds like the only reason he could take, because this is one of the few jobs he probably could have taken because it was voice work.
Yeah.
So. But, and they must not have had to be required to have the jabby jab. But we're not going to get into all that.
Yeah, we will get, we'll get into it. But I can if nobody's ever seen Friday, which I'm sure most people in the audience, I've seen people in the audience saying that thing. If anybody watches, give Friday a chance, man, because it's a feel-good
I love
movie.
the first one, especially the first one.
Yeah, the first one. Like I was telling Runner, I kind of wish they wouldn't have sequeled it. I mean, that first one is just so good. It's such a good
what's sad is we never got the revive the They were going to do a sequel a few years back. I remember reporting on this. And Ice Cube, and Ice Cube even confirmed it here not too long. I don't remember how long ago. It was not too long ago, but in a interview about that they were going to do it, but the studio just didn't want to give them the money.
That's bullcrap.
Yeah. Chris Tucker was on board and everything. Yeah, it was going to be called The Final Friday or something like that. I can't remember. I think it was something like that. Yeah.
And it's funny too. Speaking of like New Line Cinema did it. They were the only studio that would buy Friday. And
they're Warner Brothers now.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Instead, they'd rather remake House Party, kid.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, that also made me want to rewatch the House Party movies, the originals, after watching that.
Yeah, it's definitely almost like a House Party, the next generation, not quite next generation, but the next iteration of sorts, you want to call it. It feels very like of the same spirit, genre almost, however you want to put it.
Yeah.
Like, and going off of like, that's the thing is like we miss these kind of genre movies. Like this was kind of the next evolution of what blaxploitation was in the 70s into the 80s, what became, like movies like Electric Boogaloo and
Yeah.
Breakin' and whatnot. Like that eventually led to things like House Party and then this. And that for a while, that was its own kind of genre. You had like How High and
Yeah.
a couple other movies come out of that kind of same genre for a while, and it just kind of tapered off. Like that's where I don't get this shit where they're like, "Oh, you guys are racist." Bullshit. I grew up on shit like this.
I know. I watched all 3 house parties.
Kidding me? And like you said, it doesn't matter what color you are. We know these motherfuckers.
Exactly. I knew like I knew people in my neighborhood just like that. I knew my cousins are like that. Shit, my older brother reminded me of Craig.
Like I love how the hell do you get fired on your day off? Everybody knows somebody like that.
Exactly.
Oh hell yeah.
Exactly. And it's
You know what? Oh, I even know some people like that now that I think about it. Some of my friends are like that.
It's like
everybody's got a Smokey friend, and everybody,
exactly.
Like, and
everybody knows that dude on the block, like what's his face, Debo, and same, yeah.
It's funny,
the chicks and all that stuff, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's funny because like I'm trying to remember if my friend either got fired or he just quit, but like he's like gotten so many jobs and like new ones lately. It's like, what the fuck? Like what?
There's people
and
like
these same
that.
motherfuckers. It's like you quit a job once, you can't get a job again for like a year, 2 years.
Yeah,
like nobody want to hire you. This motherfucker get like 12 fucking jobs in a week. Why do they keep hiring you?
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck is it about you?
I mean,
it's like he really tapped in. Ice Cube really tapped into.
I've worked with you 7 times. I wouldn't hire you.
You know what's funny? I've even like told my friend because like he's worked like 2 jobs, I think, for what I remember, and like he hasn't gotten last time. Like his last job was like he worked there like a year ago, and I keep telling him like, dude, if you want to make money and shit, like just find another job. Seriously.
I don't know with Tucker. I've heard he's very.
He got real big and then he kind of like went away.
Well, the thing is he got big paydays for those last 2 fucking Rush Hour movies.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
So from what I heard, I mean, he may have been just smart with his money and didn't blow it like a lot of people do when they get to that point. And he might have just not had to do things and been able to say no to everything. Because it's not like I know he hasn't gotten offers for shit.
Yeah.
And he was an heir.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he does pop up in things. He does things, but I think it's just when he fucking wants to. Because I think that was part of the problem with Friday 2, 3, 4, and the newer one or whatever would be the 4th one, was that they just didn't want to pay him the money he wanted. And I'm sure he has like a minimum amount. I mean, and look, I mean, is he worth possibly what he's asking for? Maybe, maybe not. Because you got to look at it. 90% of the movies he's done have been big fucking blockbuster hits.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Aren't they working on a Rush Hour 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how lucrative that brand is. Like he just has to. That's all he does is sit around and wait for him to make another fucking Rush Hour movie.
Mm-hmm.
And in the meantime, he does little things whenever he feels like doing it. He just pops up in weird fucking places sometimes too, which tells me he's not desperate for cash. Does he owe it? Oh shit!
So Brian Barr said he had $8.5 million. So I don't know. I haven't read that.
I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. He seemed to be living kind of like
Yeah.
I don't know, unless he's got some other shit going on that I don't know about. But like, usually people like that, you'd think if they're desperate for cash, they're doing everything they're being asked for and not really haggling the price.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing is, Ice Cube got out there and worked 9.6. How is he even worth that much now? I can't even believe he made that much off the Rush Hour movies.
I know. But yeah. Guys, really.
Oh man.
Go ahead.
I don't know. Maybe he does do us a lot of investing or something. I don't know. That's weird. That's a lot of money. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
A lot. But it's a great movie. And like, also speaking of like we talked about the house party stuff, is like one of the reasons this movie was made was because of House Party.
Yeah.
Because they talked to the special feature on here is Ice Cube said we had been seeing a bunch of movies of like the dark side of the hood, like with Menace to Society and stuff, you know, the movie he was in and everything. And then he said like Kid and Play was doing their movies. The House Party is like, he said he was watching it. He's like, we need to do something like that to show the lighter side of the hood, but like, you know, like Friday, like in the style of Friday, where it's more serious than like the House Party, but it's also a comedy. So that's sort of where that came from. So yeah, it's like he said, we grew up on all this stuff. This stuff was there for us, and it's hilarious. And we know people like that, regardless of what skin color you are. So it's a great movie. But yeah, I had not seen it in years, man, years. So I was just like, I'm gonna watch Friday. So there you guys go. But Runner, what do you got for us? What's your next pick?
What you got?
All right, my next
pick, I think.
It's not my last pick. It's my second to last.
Didn't he go first?
Yeah, you did go first.
He's got 6. Never mind.
No, I have 5.
Oh yeah, that's right. We still got 2 more. That's right.
Yeah, we got two.
I was gonna say, I think we all have the same
Never
amount.
mind. Never mind. I had it moved over here. I didn't realize. Yeah, my bad.
I got this on 4K before I went on vacation, and I watched it. I like it. It's a good movie. I don't love it as much as other people. On one half, I think the trailer is better in certain points. It's a newer movie. It looks good on 4K. It's Lionsgate. It's Sisu.
I've heard good things about that. I was planning on getting that.
I have the Steelbook, but I haven't watched it yet.
See, I thought about getting the Steelbook, but I was like, nah, I kind of like the cover for the standard too, and I just wanted to save a little more money.
But I can't talk much about it. I have not seen it, so
there's not really much to talk about it. It's just an old man fighting Nazis. It's pretty unrealistic at times, but
I'll get around to it eventually.
Yeah, me too.
It's like it's John Wick-ish, I guess. I mean, I saw the trailer for it before they played it before John Wick 4 when I saw it.
It's from some of the same producers or something.
Well, yeah. I think it is. But
I think one of the directors or something like that. Yeah. You're the producers at least, yeah.
I was gonna say it may have been the producers, not the director, but because I don't think Chad Stahelski was a part of this.
Or maybe it's directed by the guy who does like the head of their stunts or something like that. I can't remember. It's something like that, but yeah. I don't know. I'm fucked up right now with like fucking whatever, so just don't worry about it.
No, that sounds a little familiar. I'm not gonna lie. But,
that's right, Steven. We'll have you maybe when you come back on, you can bring it back on.
That Steelbook is kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie. The whole knife stabbing the dude and everything that is kind of cool. It's a good movie. I like it. I just don't love it like other people do.
I've heard really good things. So I have not seen it. But I've heard good things. I eventually will see.
I mean, it even takes. There's even a little bit of like Rambo in it too at times.
Yeah, it says Random Brad says.
Yeah,
over the top
old Rambo. Yeah, that's kind of what this is. I think Rambo's better, but yeah, I'll watch Rambo any day over Sisu. Not to say Sisu's like bad or anything, but I think Rambo's better.
Yeah, I think I might have, because I've heard a lot of people really like it, and to be honest with you, I did. It's got to be better than John Wick 4. I know I like John Wick 4, but John Wick 4 was like the least of the John Wicks, in my opinion. It's like, I would rank it last.
I think John Wick 4 is way better.
I don't. I think it diminishes the character a whole lot.
I mean, my problem with Sisu is like it sometimes goes really slow, like pacing wise, even though it's like 90 minutes long, which I appreciate. But like even with the 90 minutes, it feels kind of slow at times. Whereas John Wick 4 doesn't, with a longer runtime.
I don't know. I mean, I was watching John Wick 4 and I was like, is is how much longer is this going to happen? It's dragging out. Where's John Wick?
I didn't have that problem.
It was far too long. Far too long.
Uh,
John Wick should not be a 3-hour movie. I'm sorry.
I mean,
it should not. It
no,
should have stuck
no,
to
but
like the hour and 45 minutes of the first movie. I think
I
that's nice and tight.
mean, I agree with you to a point, but I thought
Like,
it was
you could
fine.
chop off the first hour of John Wick 4 and it wouldn't make no difference in that movie. It honestly would not make no difference.
I gotta rewatch John Wick 4 because I've only seen it once. I did pick up the 4K, but
4K looks amazing though.
oh, I bet it does. I just I'll need to rewatch it.
But yeah, I gotta see Sisu. It's something is on my list. I do want to see it. So I
Did
will
you say
get to it.
did you say Sisu?
Sisu, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Sisu.
Sisu.
Like you can see with your eyes.
Sisu.
There you go.
Yeah, Sisu.
One of my favorite Paul McCartney songs. Dun, 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 dun. Sisu.
Sisu.
Jesus Christ.
Sisu.
Jesus Christ, Greg. You got it.
Sisu.
And me.
Oh, there you go. Now you got it right.
Oh, wait, that's Sea Moon.
There's your problem right there. That is the biggest problem with John Wick 4.
Oh.
It's I like the movie, but it is 2 movies in one, and it needlessly long.
Jurassic World 4 was horrible. Oh, I mean John Wick 4. Oh, John Wick.
Just,
My bad.
any final words there?
No, I see where Steven's coming from. He's not.
I haven't watched it yet because of all the mixed stuff I've been hearing. Like, yeah.
Oh,
now you're gonna make me want to watch Sisu more. So I was kind of like, I heard John Wick eat out, but
I heard Tarantino actually liked it. I think.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
What, Sisu?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see him liking it. Yeah. I just didn't love Sisu as much as John Wick.
Chicka out. Boop, 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 boop. Let me guess. I'm the only one who knows that Paul McCartney song.
It sounds familiar. I want to say something, but I'm afraid I'll get it wrong.
Sea Moon. It's not a very.
No, I don't think I know that one.
It's not his greatest hits album, but
the beat sounded familiar. But when you started singing the words, yeah, that sounds very familiar.
Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to listen to it. Maybe like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember.
I probably have to do that. Yeah, but yeah, Runner, I will check that out. That is on my list.
Yeah, you'd probably enjoy it.
I probably will. I've heard good things.
It's not my favorite, but I like it.
All right. Well, what are we doing here?
All right. So, which you want to do? Let's do the vampire one because
Let's do that.
Yeah. So.
So yeah, we both watched, and you did a review of it already.
Yes. And I will have to make an amendment to my review.
My best friend is a vampire. Yes. Now, as far as the movie goes, it held up pretty well. Mm-hmm. I love the irony of ironies that the guy in the making of it's like, yeah, I wanted to make a counterpart to a teenage vampire. It's like, bullshit, motherfucker. Teen Wolf came out 2 years before this.
It's very similar. Very
similar. Don't fucking lie. Yes, it's an excellent ripoff of Teen Wolf. In fact, it's a better sequel to Teen Wolf than Teen Wolf 2. Mm-hmm. It should have been the sequel to Teen Wolf because it's a great counterpart, right?
Very
like, go ahead.
Beats. Very similar.
But there's some problems with this release. Yes.
And I do want to make an amendment because I will be honest with you guys. I was kind of blinded by my nostalgia watching this movie. The scan really.
The movie holds up. That's the beauty.
The movie holds up. That's the thing is I had not seen this movie.
If you like stuff like Fright
Night
and Teen Wolf, you will love this movie.
Yes. That's what I said. Like you could pair this with Once Bitten with Jim Carrey. Teen Wolf, Once Bitten.
Another great one.
Yes.
Yeah, another great one. But like as far as like it is really almost like a spiritual sequel to Teen Wolf. Let's be real.
Very, very much. But yes, I did say the scan looked really good in my review. And I'll be honest, I was kind of blinded by my nostalgia because I had not seen it in 20 years. But after talking to Tom and going through it again, yeah, it does suffer. It is a pretty bad scan because once you watch the special features, the sound is better and the picture quality of the movie is better on the special features than the actual movie. So,
No, because I remember watching your review on it, Greg, and you said it looked good, and I'm like, well, that's not what Tom said.
Yeah, I've talked to Tom with it, and
And honestly, I watched the special features, and to me, it looked the same in the special features.
really,
So I don't
thought
know.
it kind of looked a little better in the special features.
I don't know. Maybe I'd have to watch again, but really, the problem here is it looks like it's an older scan, possibly like a scan done years ago for like digital, and they added some heavy DNR to it. So basically, even though it would have been HD quality initially, it was probably like a 2K scan, whatever, however many years ago. They added so much DNR to it that it's practically DVD quality.
Yeah, but I will say, I'll tell you this: from what I know about the DVD, it's better than the DVD. It's probably, I mean, because the DVD still is only in 4:3 aspect ratio.
Oh, absolutely. In
Yeah,
that respect, yeah.
Yeah, in that respect, it is. But the
I
scan,
mean,
yeah, it was kind of dark, and it was the sound was. I did say the sound was bad in my review.
there's a fluctuation of the sound. Like I didn't listen to the mono track. I think you said you watched it with the mono
Yeah, I
track.
thought the mono sounded better.
Which it probably is more solid. The
Mhm.
5.1 track is a bit sporadic. Sometimes it's fine and well balanced and well mixed. Other times it sounds like those really old bad faux 5.1 tracks when they try to take a mono soundtrack and mix it up. But you could tell they clearly had separated tracks because there's music going on in certain surround settings, and then they're talking through the center channel. So those scenes are fine, but sometimes the voices are bouncing all over the place, and it does have this weird kind of like, why are they phasing the pan here and there? Like, why did they even bother? Like,
Yeah.
but again, it's kind of a 2/3 of one and half the other, or whatever the saying is. I mean, as far as the fact of, yes, the price, we can't complain about it finally being available. The only other thing I'll gripe about is they could have at least had the reversible sleeve on the inside, so I could have had the video art. Because it's
Yeah,
one of those
that's
movies that I remember
yes,
always seeing at the
that's
video
what I
store.
complained about as well. Because that's the one thing these Vestron releases are missing.
And I'm not a
the
fan of
original-
this new art. I don't know
Yeah,
what the fuck this
the
is.
original art.
It is
that would
not
be nice.
really. I don't know what it's trying to do. It doesn't really evoke the film at all, though.
No, but I would say, for $11, $12, it's definitely worth the pickup of the Blu-ray, especially if you haven't seen this movie in a long time. Especially if you wanted to see better DVD, fuller screen, I guess you could say, the 185:1 aspect ratio. It's worth it, and you get better special features, even if they did kind of screw the scan. So
It could be worse, right?
It
I'm not
could- it
going to
could be a lot
lie
worse,
there,
yeah.
but it could be a hell of a lot better had they not applied all this digital noise reduction to it.
yeah,
And you can tell that's what it is this time. It's not the neat stuff, it's actual DNR.
yeah.
Because I can see it smudging everything. And it looks smudgy.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that if you're a stickler like I am. But for the most part, I think it's only $11.99. So
Yeah, $11. It's pretty cheap.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Go ahead. It's just
no, for that price, I'm just saying, yeah. what
Yeah,
can you
yeah.
really do?
Yeah, the nostalgia got the better of me watching it because I had not seen the movie in so long, and something I remember being very, very excited.
Well, maybe if
to
this
see.
sells well, maybe we'll get a 4K release. I doubt it, but
You never know. Well, Vestron has been trying to dip their hand in 4K, so maybe
bit.
eventually. Yeah, it depends on how you get a 4K. Buy this disc. The more you buy of this, the more you get chance you could have a 4K.
Oh, wow,
So
you got some
that's-
super chats coming in.
Yeah, I got some super chats. So let's go with $5 here from Bronson Wright Wolf. In your opinion, who do you think does the best Christopher Walken impression?
Tom.
I don't know who does best Christopher Walken impression. It's weird.
It's weird.
I just want to dance.
I'm trying to think here because that's
Who's the
really
guy?
good.
Who's the guy from Saturday Night Live that did it? He was pretty good. Jay Moore. He was all right.
Yeah, Jay Moore did good. That one guy who does like Sean Connery in everybody's voice. He's not,
all right too.
I
know who you're talking about too, and I can't think of it.
Yeah, he's from Saturday Night Live too. I can't think of his name.
Not is it Colin something?
No, because he did the Weekend Update.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. You're right.
Yeah. I can't think of his
See,
name.
Reverend Jim says Jay Moore.
Yeah, Jay Moore does pretty good. He actually kind of looks like him too, so
That helps.
that helps a lot.
Because you got to do the face.
Yeah, you got to do that face. You know, what's funny is like even the guy that plays his son in Batman Returns kind of does a pretty good version of him.
He does, and you can tell
does.
yeah.
So
Father, we got to go talk to the masses.
yeah, he kind of did a decent version. I wouldn't say it's spot on, but
remind me to take it off on what's a face.
Yeah, and
because walking, it's really just like you're surprised by everything and caught off guard. Don't know what to say. That's really the key. That's key. Is like, kind of like with Shatner. It's just you really mean everything that you're saying.
You gotta insinuate.
Exactly. It's unless you're doing like old Shatner, which old Shatner just don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And he'll just say Priceline.com. It's just like, that's two different worlds there. But Walken, he's a character. He's a tough one.
Craig Gass, I don't know who that is, but Boba Fett says he did a great Christopher Walken.
I'm not familiar offhand.
Yeah, and the dude. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, the dude that played
his son,
Batman Returns son, was Zane Grief, and he was also Leatherface. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, in the remake version.
Oh, okay.
But we do have Bronson gives us his picks here for $10. Thank you very much, Bronson. Again, for
Bronson.
He says he thinks Robin Williams, Simon Helberg, Andy Samberg, Ryan Reynolds, Bradley Cooper, Kevin Pollak, Kevin Spacey all do great impressions of him. Kevin Pollak's impression is probably the best. Yeah, Kevin
Pollak does a good one. Yeah, he does a good one too.
Yeah, he does it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those good picks. And thank you, Bronson, for the super chats. And
I watched this movie about this kid. He meets this girl. Love at first sight. What's it? It's a holder. Kiss it.
Yeah.
But she bites him on the neck. And he starts to change. He goes through changes. Boys, when they become men, they go through changes. You get hair and weird spots, and your voice starts to drop. And this boy started to crave things. Normally, boys, when they become men, start to notice girls, but he just wanted blood.
Yeah. It's funny. That's I forgot weird. I forgot his parents thought he was gay in this movie.
Thought he was gay.
I forgot about that.
It's weird.
It's weird. He's hanging out with these older guys.
His friend, don't believe it.
Good night, Brian Barth. Have a good
night. Yeah, I remember that was one of the bits I remembered most from when I was a kid. Was like, it was one of the first times I remember a gay joke. I think that was at a point where, like, because things like Hollywood didn't really faze me. Like, I didn't really think nothing of it. I just thought it was a flamboyant dude. I didn't understand at that point yet. I think that joke in that movie might have been one of the. I'm trying to think. Maybe not. I'm trying to think. It may have been one of the first times my parents actually had to explain to me what gay was.
Yeah,
but I could be wrong. But it's one of my first memories of it being like a whoa, okay, kind of thing.
It's like I don't think I first got it when I saw it as a kid. I didn't understand.
I got it, but I'm wondering if. Yeah, I'm trying to remember if there's something else I might have seen before that might have had something in it, because I remember that'd be one of the first times. Then I'd probably ask my parents, be like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
It's like, what is that? But thank you once again, Bronson, for those. And I'll give you, since we're talking vampires here, real quick for you, Bronson.
Oh, you're so cool, Brewster. I can't stand it.
That's just, but here you go, Tom.
I had to fight.
But yeah,
I did.
I did.
The squeaker.
It stunk.
It was bad. Shouldn't have had that burrito.
But yeah, I say if you guys want to go ahead for $12, you really can't beat the movie, even if you scan. I mean,
it's a good counterpart to a lot of those movies. Like I said, you can
Yeah.
even make it a double feature with like Fright Night or like you said,
Fright
Once
Night,
Bitten. If you want to do a
Once
vampire double
Bitten,
feature, or you can
Teen Wolf.
Teen Wolf is another great one to make it, match it up with. It's a great film. It's a PG-13. No,
Yeah.
it's only. As I say, I noticed it's PG. It's only rated PG, but it definitely would be rated PG-13 now.
Yeah, because like there's really nothing.
Like that was one thing I noticed. I'm like, oh shit, they did get away with a lot for PG.
Yeah, they
back then.
did. The only thing they didn't slip in there was nudity in that one. That was
an F
it.
word, right? Like,
Yep,
yeah,
they have an
there's
F bomb
stuff
and
on there.
everything. Yeah,
Is there an F word in this one?
I think was there an F? Didn't his
Trying to
friend say the
remember.
F word once?
Maybe not, but they could get away with
Maybe
it
not.
then.
Yeah, they could.
PG, that's the thing. It used to be more clearly defined. Like you didn't get an R unless you really fucking earned that shit. PG-13 really caught a lot of that area. Like you could get away with saying fuck a couple times. You could show some tits.
Mhm.
Yeah. Like you could have some adult situations at a PG-13, but then that all changed. They fucked it up.
Yep. It sucks, but yeah, it's a good movie regardless. And yeah, I do wish the scan was better, and I do apologize because when I was making my review, I just finished watching the movie, and I was really excited to have seen the movie again. So I thought it looked good, but then like once I really started thinking about it, and I talked to Tom, I was like, you know what, you're right. It's not that great of a
Well, it
scan.
kind of bummed me out when I popped it in
Yeah.
because I was like, oh, and
I just
remember
I was like so focused in the movie, and I was like excited, but yeah, I get where you're coming from, Tom.
oh yeah, I've seen it quite a few times as a kid too. I remember it being on cable all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you got another super chat. Holy
Yes,
crap,
we-
raining.
Bronson, I appreciate that.
Charles Bronson, Right Wolf is what we'll call him.
Yes. Just for the whole month.
like Charles Bronson if you want
Go ahead. Do it.
Just for the whole month of October. Price is Right should be called The Price is Right. And Drew Carey, his name should be Drew Scary. You know what? CBS should hire you. That's a good idea.
Yeah, they should. Yeah.
Man, that's a good Charles Bronson, dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's good, yeah.
I've seen enough.
Well, I appreciate that. And actually, I would
Shouldn't
watch
say
a
that
movie-
about your folks.
I would watch a movie called The Price is Right. That would be pretty cool vampire movie. But thank you,
wish.
Bronson, once
Death
again.
wish.
Yes.
I'm gonna
So
make it
you-
come true.
You got to point the finger gun. But thank you once again, Bronson. I truly appreciate it, and that's a good idea. And for that,
I have to return some videotapes.
I have to return some videotapes.
but Runner, what do you got?
Pull the trigger.
Swear to me.
Where to me? Where were the other drugs going?
Bat Tom.
I'm serious. I'm out of pot. Where were they going?
And you know this, man. You selling all my weed, Smokey?
I'm gonna get you high today. What? Really?
I know you ain't got no job. I know you ain't got no parents, and it's night. I'm gonna get you high today.
No parents. No, I didn't get high.
That would be. There's your great Bat Tom parody right there.
Friday night.
Friday with Bat.
Friday night with a KNI.
Yeah, Friday night with the Kennedy. Smokey and Batman just like sitting on the porch.
You're so much cooler than Robin. He never has any good pot. Wait a minute. You're supposed to pay this guy for all this pot we just smoked? Oh, great. Now what are we going to do?
He's coming for us, man.
Wait a
Big
minute.
worm.
Eat you like Bruce Wayne? I don't know what you're talking about. Big worm gonna fuck me up.
There you go. That would be a perfect one. Oh, here you go. Look,
All right,
check
that's
this
a
out.
little too Chappelle, but yeah.
But my
Oh,
father
wow.
named me after
That's
Charles Bronson. As a matter of
awesome.
fact, Charles Bronson was his favorite actor. Well, that's awesome, Bronson.
Dude, that's
Appreciate
awesome.
that.
That is so
Thank you
cool.
once again for the $5. I appreciate. I wish I had a freaking
Bronson's a cool name, yeah.
yeah, Bronson's a cool one. I wish I had a Charles Bronson clip to play now. That would have been perfect.
You got a death wish.
Get a death wish.
I'm gonna make it come true like a genie.
But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Once again, that's pretty cool.
Don't get close to me, you'll die.
There's your perfect.
That's a proven fact. You automatically, if you go anywhere near Charles Bronson, especially if he's in a Death Wish movie, the chances of you dying go up astronomically. If you're one of his family members, you're fucked.
Exactly.
If you're a friend, you're fucked. If you're a bad guy, you're definitely fucked.
That's why he comes out the winner every time and loser.
He's the only one left.
Yeah. He's the only one
I think
left.
it's finally that last movie was the last time where they finally didn't like fuck with his girlfriend, if I remember right. It could be wrong. It's been that long since I've seen it, but it's like,
I've only seen the first two, Death Wish.
oh wow. So you haven't even seen the batshit fun crazy 3 and 4. Oh, dude, you're missing out.
Oh, okay. I want to watch them now.
It's like, I got a motherfucking bazooka.
Yeah, they're coming.
Oh,
they're
now
coming
I
out.
definitely want to watch it. Now you
He's
piqued
like
my
the cops.
interest.
He's like, are you letting me loose? Like, seriously.
Now I
I
want
was
to
like,
watch.
yeah, we're letting you loose. All right. I'm gonna let loose.
Yep.
You know, I have both of those movies on like 4K. I mean, the first two. I actually
Oh,
like
God.
I actually like the second one more than the first.
You know, I didn't, but Razor Fist made some really good fucking arguments. And I rewatched it after I got the first one on 4K, and I'm like, you know what? It may not be a better movie, but it sure is a lot more fucking fun than the first one.
It's like
I think that's why I enjoyed the second one more.
And by the time you get to 3 and 4, those two are so batshit fun crazy that you just kind of, they don't even really feel like the same universe at that point. But
Yeah.
those two are so closely tied together, and just the times that they came out, that they feel so similar. But like, yeah, it's just, all of them are fun, right? The fifth one is probably the least of the bunch, but just
Mhm.
because at that point, you know, Charles Bronson's getting old and he doesn't want to do half this shit no more. And, you know, it's showing the wear and tear on the franchise, but it is what it is. And it was straight to video and all that kind of shit. But yeah,
Yep. Last another thing
it
from
is coming from Kino Lorber though.
Yeah.
Runner
3, 4, and it's
3,
5
4,
coming too?
and 5.
And
Oh,
5,
that
yeah.
on Blu-ray, right?
Is 3? Because I already got 3 from the new
I think
remaster.
they said 3 was coming, didn't they? Or
I thought it was just 4 and 5.
4 and 5, maybe.
Yeah, I heard 4 and 5 for sure.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I
when
think it's just 4 and 5 for now. Yeah.
But thank you once again, Bronson, for another $10 super chat. And it says, I'll share this here again. When Drew Carey first started hosting The Price is Right, Bob Barker took Drew Carey out to lunch. He told him to make the show his own and try not to copy him. Great advice.
Oh, a lot about Price is Right, sir.
Yes. Yes, it was, you know, when you stayed home as a kid and that's what was on TV.
You should do those kind of documentaries for YouTube channel, man.
Yeah, you should just try some of that. Might work. But thank you.
I actually got
Bronson.
sucked into one where somebody was talking about the Family Feud the other day.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because I fucking love Charles or
Yeah. What's his name?
Dawson. What the hell is his
Dawson.
name?
Richard Dawson.
Richard Dawson. I almost said Charles. Yeah, Richard Dawson. Who don't love Charles? Because we were talking about Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Who don't love Richard Bronson? Not just call him Richard Bronson too. I need to eat. Fucking blood sugar. Anyway,
Yeah.
I quit.
Yeah. We'll get to Runner. I'm going to play him a clip and then we'll get to Runner and we'll get to moving here.
Finally.
Closest thing I got to Charles Bronson, the guy with the mustache there. But what do you got, Runner?
That's like the closest thing to like Mortal Kombat right there.
That movie's so bad. It's so fun.
I was gonna say, no, that literally the punches and like the music literally sounds like old school Mortal Kombat. That's great. But you know, our buddy Bat Tom quoting the Dark Knight movies and such. I rewatched a movie by that same director for no particular reason at all.
Yeah, I wonder why.
Does he have any Nolan films left to bring on this show?
Inception.
He hasn't brought Inception yet before?
I don't think he has.
No, I've shown the Blu-ray, not the 4K.
Oh, you had the Blu-ray.
Oh,
okay.
you fucking cheater.
No, but I watched it.
I
watched it on 4K. I got this I think I got this as was it Christmas or birthday? I forgot. It was one of those two. I think I got it as a birthday gift. Or was it Chris? I forgot. But no, I watched it. I watched it on 4K. It's a really good movie. It's probably, I love it. It's probably my favorite Nolan movie personally. I don't think it's his best, but it's my favorite, if that makes sense.
I'm just thankful it's not Tenet.
I don't think I've shown it. I have the Blu-ray, but I've only seen it twice.
I do like Inception. It's one of his better films, but that's also at
Yeah.
the point where he was getting a little, like overboard with like, what do we do here? What do we do there? I mean, I like Nolan. I think he's a good filmmaker, but he gets a little too in his head and starts going in tons of different places and time and space and connecting, and it kind of goes a little crazy sometimes.
And his new movie Oppenheimer, I've seen it twice. I think he's improved from some of his previous mistakes.
Okay.
Yeah, like a lot of people like a lot of people have like bitched about like the sound and stuff in movies such as like Interstellar, Tenet, even Dark Knight Rises, I think is where it really started.
Well, he's made a thing for why it sounds like that. He
I
doesn't do ADR.
No, I understand that, but
dum 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 dum.
No, but like that's not really much of a problem in I mean the sound is loud at times in Oppenheimer, but it's oh yeah.
Which is kind of funny.
What the fuck did you just say?
Which is kind of
Why
funny.
is Mad Max talking like that?
Mad Max.
Oh yeah, man.
What the fuck is he doing? I don't get it. I heard you say my name, motherfucker.
I like that. But didn't he have to actually re-record his lines, Bane, because it was so
Tom
bad
Hardy?
the first time around? Yeah,
I thought he did too. I thought he said
that's
something.
what I remember hearing. That is like the first time Nolan screened the movie, like they could not understand a damn word Bane was saying. So they said Tom
What
Hardy.
about my transmission?
I remember watching The Dark Knight Rises as a kid, and I was like, what the hell is he saying?
Did you say you transitioned into a guy? Oh, I said you had more purpose to You don't get a single fucking word you're saying. And people say I can't understand me.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like that's a moment right there. I tell you what.
That's your like perfect right there, Tom. You could do the Friday night. Bane can be Debo since he's big bald guy, and then you got Smokey can filling in for Robin. I mean, it's perfect. It writes itself.
Big Worm would be Penguin.
Yeah, there you go. It's like perfect. It's like Batman and Friday together.
I'm gonna punch a penguin.
But
he's just a little guy. One punch and he's gonna go down. You know.
But anything you want to say about Inception, Runner?
It's
Inception. It's a great movie. I enjoy it a lot. I remember. I still like it. I remember loving it the first time I saw it.
Doesn't Elliot Page give a great performance? I love seeing Elliot Page in the movie.
Well, that wasn't the name credited in the movie.
I know. I'm being
You know what's funny?
I'm doing the opposite so they can't say, "Oh, quit dead naming."
No, it's funny. It's funny how like have they even like changed? Have they even like edited the credits to change it? Like the
what's
digital
funny is Elliot Page could actually play Elliot in an ET sequel.
Oh, that's just
like a 10-year-old boy.
You know what's funny is like my youngest brother. He's never finished the movie Inception, and he says, "What do you expect me to watch a movie where everybody's sleeping, not to fall asleep?" He fell asleep every time he's trying to watch it.
That is tough to argue with.
He's like everybody's asleep. How do you expect me not to fall asleep?
And there ain't no Freddy Krueger.
But within a dream.
Within a dream.
Yeah.
But I do actually.
level.
But and another thing that relates to Nolan and physical media, he actually talked about it recently.
Yes.
He actually supports it,
Yes.
which is great.
Well, of course he does, because he overcharges for it, motherfucker. Charged me $40 for that goddamn Tenet movie, dirty bastard. Don't you remember that? Like, he had a premium price on his fucking movie. It's like,
that price on the 4K was ridiculous.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's all him. He jacked that shit up. It's like, fuck you, dickhead. I bought a movie I'm never gonna finish watching, and I paid 3 times what I would pay to go see in the theater. Because you had to go spend that much money on a stupid fucking movie. Nolan has his moments, but he's a wannabe Kubrick type. But he's not quite.
He's probably the closest thing to it, to a Kubrick.
Maybe. That's tough.
I mean, what other director, like modern director, could you say is like a Stanley Kubrick type
Villeneuve, Favre?
Nah. I always saw him as more of a younger Ridley Scott, like a new Ridley Scott. That's how I see him.
Kind of. But you're just saying that because he did the fucking
it's not just Blade Runner. I mean, kind of.
Give him more credit than that. Ridley Scott's a hack. Motherfucker can't release a a movie and not do 12 different edits. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
here's
true.
my third or fourth cut, and then
I was gonna say
another one.
Well, to
Ricky Bobby.
I mean, to Denis Villeneuve's credit, I can actually say his last name. I can actually say his last name right. I remember when people were asking if like he was going to release a director's cut of the first Dune movie, and he's like, "No, what you saw was the director's cut." It's like, good.
Part of me wishes that wasn't true, because I see it like Lord of the Rings, where I'm like, there's a lot of stuff that is definitely on the cutting room floor here.
That's true. No, but there would have been like Tom says, like if Ridley Scott had directed Dune, there would have been like
10 different cuts.
Yeah, 10 different cuts. But no,
I like him all right, but like no, he's one of the most. When somebody says, "Who do you think is an overrated director?" Ridley Scott comes out of my mouth before they even finish the word director. Because I like him, but he's so over fucking rated. And you could watch fucking nerd boys lose their fucking minds when you say he's overrated too. That's the beauty. That's how you know he's overrated.
I always like Tony Scott as director more than
exactly. That's the other joke I make, and people go, "Oh, you shouldn't have said that." When I say wrong kid died.
You shouldn't say that.
I remember.
Fuck you. He's a better director.
What's funny? I remember
you
saying
don't need
that
12 cuts for Top Gun.
No, I remember saying that like at work one day. I was talking to some guy who was like working in the department next to me, and we were talking about movies and shit. And for some reason, we talked about Ridley Scott and Tony Scott. I forgot why we did.
I like more Tony Scott movies than I do Ridley Scott movies.
No, but I told him like, hey, you want to hear an underrated opinion I have about like film and movies and shit? I always thought that Tony Scott was the better director than Ridley, and he's like, ooh. He's like, what? He's like, yeah.
Ridley's a better fucking cinematographer, maybe.
Oh, I agree. Definitely.
Well, yeah. Here's what I said after seeing The Martian. Wow, that was the best Tony Scott movie Ridley's ever made.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong there.
And it feels like a Tony Scott movie. You don't feel like a Ridley Scott movie.
And there's multiple cuts of that film.
And there's fucking multiple cuts.
Are we nerd boys? Maybe. I guess it depends on varying degrees of what kind of nerd boy you are.
Well, there's some people who just get so fucking irate and offended when you say that he's overrated.
No, that's
there was a famous fucking like me and Andre and I think was it Mr. H or Gary I think it was Gary Tunnicliffe. We were all debating it. And Gary was just so upset. He's like, how can you even fucking say that? He's fucking Ridley Scott. It's like, yeah, but he can't even keep one cut of his fucking movies. In his best fucking movie, he still recut Alien. And it wasn't even, that's the least Ridley Scott of all the fucking Ridley Scott movies.
Yeah, that's true. And I like some of his movies. I like Gladiator. I like
Honestly,
Blade Runner. I like Black Hawk Down. Black Hawk Down.
I
is really
wish he just
fucking good.
stuck doing that shit because I didn't really care for much of that stuff so much, but people did. My problem is when I really lost a lot of respect for him is when he came back to the Alien franchise and decided to wipe his ass with it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm so pissed about. His motherfucker thought he had to come in and put his stank all over this shit. And it's like, no, dude, you're fucking with something that was already decent to begin with, and now you're just changing the fucking lore for your own fucking self-gratification.
I haven't even seen any of his other like recent.
It
Alien
undoes so much of what the initial shit was set up to be. Like, to me, it's like the simplicity, and we've gone way off course here, but like the simplicity of the Alien was, to me, this advanced race made the aliens as it's kind of a metaphor for biological and nuclear weapons, right? It's the weapon getting out of hand and killing the maker.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it was. It was never meant to be anything. Like, they weren't meant to send it to Earth or any of that other fucking bullshit. And it wasn't made by the fucking blue guy putting some weird dye in the fucking water. It's like, oh my God, they're fucking weapon. They work like weapons. You come in to their little cave. As soon as you disrupt the fucking field of fog, what happens? Much like a laser field, the pods open.
Yep.
And they find their host. They attach themselves to the host. They become out. They go around and they kill every motherfucking thing that comes within their path, and you can't kill them. They are the perfect biological weapon.
Yep.
You try to kill them, you're gonna kill yourself.
Always felt like
whatever you're in. Yeah.
Yeah. I always thought also he felt like he was trying to show up James Cameron for Aliens.
That's exactly what I said too. He's just pissed because Aliens was always considered the cooler of the two.
Yeah.
And the one that people clamor for the most, and it probably sells more videos, I bet. Not only that, that's the one that got nominated for all the fucking Oscars.
Yep.
I always liked Aliens more.
It's the one that most people. I mean, Alien is a great movie, but like most people, when you talk Alien,
they're both kind of different, though. That's the
thing.
Yeah,
that's like what James Cameron when he said when he was approaching to do the sequel, because he was like, doing it. He's like, he didn't want to recreate the first movie. He didn't want to make a horror movie. He wanted it so the best thing is like a sci-fi action.
I was gonna say like the first one's more horror heavy, which I think is great, but then like the second one, Aliens, is more action, which I think works.
I wouldn't have had a problem if he'd have just come back and done a sequel and not tried to rewrite history.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you want to be like coming back to the franchise that I started, I'm going to do a dark, gothic fucking alien movie. I don't think the world would have had a problem with that.
Right.
Doesn't have to have Ripley in it. Just set it off in the future somewhere. Who gives a fuck? Reset this franchise back on a proper path to where you can get the idea of, yes, just have these are your bad guys. All you have is humans stumbling upon them. Real simple. Come up with a gimmick that wasn't in the first few movies that you can do that's unique to this one. You don't need to rewrite history.
Nope.
And the other thing that pisses me off about it is it killed Neil Blomkamp's Alien sequel.
Yep.
That's why. And Tommy Reviews just brought that up in the chat.
Yeah, Michael Biehn would have been coming back, and all of them would have been back. It was crazy.
Yep. He killed that.
Yeah, he killed that.
And I can say that with all fucking confidence. I know that from a very reliable source. In fact, multiple sources, but one that's so super fucking reliable, I can't even fucking say it because they're so close to Neil Blomkamp. They're practically Neil Blomkamp himself.
There you guys go.
I'll tell you guys in the back, and you'll be like, "Oh shit!"
All right, I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, he had to make Prometheus and the Alien Covenant because we couldn't get an actual real sequel.
I think I tried watching Alien Covenant because it was on cable, and I just walked out. I was bored.
It's a shitty remake of the first film. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's why I walked out. I was just like, yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah. But I'm gonna get these last two super chats from Bronson.
Yeah, we went from Christopher Nolan to Ridley Scott for
well, that's because you had to say. No.
You brought it up.
Telling you moving far.
Yeah. I was just making. Because I was making the point that he's like a new.
runner. Oh, runner.
No, I was just because I was trying to
write
make
a
the
poem
point.
about you.
No, because I was trying to make the point that like Nolan is like this generation's Kubrick, whereas because I don't know, Ridley Scott is like Villeneuve. He is the new Ridley Scott to me, anyway.
Runner. Runner. Why is he so weird? Can't grow a beard. Whoa. Runner. Run Ed.
He'll get it when we get to that movie.
Yes.
But I'm gonna get these 2 super chats from Bronson real quick. Once again, thank you so very much, Bronson, for all these. He said for $10. He said earlier we were talking about comedic and dramatic performances. I like Will Ferrell and Everything Must Go. I like Jeff Bridges in The Big Lebowski, and I like Robin Williams and Jeff Daniels in RV. Nice choices there. And also, Tom, this one will pertain to you because you actually did bring it on for Bronson for $5. Thank you once again, Bronson. He says, have you guys ever seen Robin Williams and Jeff Bridges in The Fisher King? If so, what are your thoughts on the movie? I haven't seen it, though.
Great flick.
Yes.
I haven't seen it. I need to
one of the
watch
more
it.
mainstream movies Gilliam had ever done, and it's one of those. It's basically the equivalent of when a band does a really kick-ass cover song just to prove to you they can fucking make an actual song. Like the shit that they're doing is, because everybody's kind of accusing him of being a wackadoo and just spending a bunch of money. So he did that, and I can't remember the other movie he did right after Baron Munchausen, which lost a shit ton of money, just to kind of prove that he could do good.
Yeah.
Play ball, make a good movie that's not going to lose any money, and it did. It not only did it not lose any money, but I think he got nominated for some Oscars and shit, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it did.
One of his most lauded films as far as the critics go, or is the word lauded the word I'm looking for is lauded bad. Can't remember now. My brain's off because I need to eat something. But like no, he is one of his better films as far as his non-wacky films, and one of Robin's most undersung performances as far as dramatic roles go, because people forget how dramatic he gets in that role and what the movie is all about, and the twist in it is really gets you, and the kind of character that Jeff Bridges is playing at that time in his life, and the kind of people that they're kind of, because like Jeff Bridges is playing like a Howard Stern type, just in that era, the yuppies coming out of the 80s into the 90s, how the yuppies were kind of being viewed in America and stuff, compared especially to the homeless problem. You got to remember also, this is also the time that I'm sure it was pretty close to Robin's heart to do this movie, because they were doing the comic relief stuff all the time too at that point. So yeah, but no, it's a great fucking movie. I think you've seen it, Greg.
Yes, I have. I haven't seen it in a while, but I have seen it. Yes.
And the 4K looks great. Scan comes from Sony, so yeah.
Do yourself a favor, Bronson. Check it out. It is actually a really good movie. I think you'll dig it.
A little pricey. It's Criterion though, so you gotta want to catch it on the half price sale.
Yeah, but since you're a Robin Williams fan, I think you'll dig it. But with that, Tom, let's show us our last pick here, so we can get you something to eat.
There she goes.
There she goes again.
You better like that song, because you're gonna hear it 12 fucking times in this movie.
I do like the movie, even though it's
still in the old plastic. Yeah. With the old sticker on it. Okay. The old original. And I think I've had this for I don't know how many years, because you can tell just from the back this is one of the old.
Yeah, like with the old.
Not only that, what's funny is it's called a special edition. There ain't nothing on here.
There's nothing under, just a movie.
But as you see, we actually got some special features. 30 minutes of deleted and alternate scenes on this one. But we talked a little bit about it on 4K for you earlier. As you said there, the scan looks good. It got a new Dolby Atmos. There's one bit that I was kind of upset, because it's both a really awesome use of the Dolby Atmos, but then it's kind of like, why didn't you finish it? Because then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. When they're inside and he's sitting there grilling what's her face, and you hear the thump. Ah!
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
The thump is coming out of the top left, like above you, but his voice is still coming out of the center channel. It's like, No, his voice should become
He's
suspect
just giving it up,
too.
yeah.
Otherwise, the joke don't work right. But other than that, no, it's a really great upgrade
Yeah.
for the movie. And the movie itself, it's a mixed bag. We talked a little bit about that earlier. But go ahead, Greg. I'm sorry. I didn't mean
Yeah,
to-
I mean, yes, I do. I do enjoy the movie. I think it's a good movie. It's funny, but yes, it was sold as a horror comedy, and the horror comedy doesn't really come in till near basically the end of the movie.
'Cause
So
it was
it's
all
very,
cut
very-
out.
Yeah, it's all cut out with you go through. That's why I love the 30 minutes of deleted scenes, because you can see this movie would have been a very different type of movie, a little more horror comedy all the way through and stuff, and the mystery would have been a tad bit different. I kind of think it maybe would have spoiled a little bit whether or not you think she is or she isn't, but like Tom was saying, it sort of doesn't. But yeah, it would have been very different, and it's a fun flick. Mike Myers plays this like a yuppie poet guy, beat poet, and the best parts are when he plays his dad. But yeah, it's if you have a girlfriend, pop it in,
Yeah.
boyfriend,
There was
whatever.
also the weird alternate ending where they have obviously do some kind of time
yeah,
jump.
like the jumps, yeah, with the kid and
Where he
stuff.
has a kid and shit.
And
Where
he's
they have a
got the
kid
glasses
already
just
and
with his
shit. Yeah.
dad. Yeah.
Should I
What
pick
the
up the movie?
I don't know.
Oh,
You
yeah.
might like it. You might not, Runner. Because here's the problem: you got to be prepared. It is a straight up romantic comedy with Mike Myers sensibility, and you have to like Mike Myers, because that's one of my issues with the movie. Is I like Mike Myers, but I don't love Mike Myers as much as Mike Myers loves Mike Myers. And this movie is Mike Myers mugging through the whole fucking movie, and it does get a bit grating. And I said this earlier on 4K for you. It makes you go. You start to wonder, what does this guy do for a living, and why do people put up with him after a while? Because he is a real douchebag, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He thinks his character is interesting and likable, but this is the kind of guy that in college I would beat the fuck out of if I could.
To be honest,
Because these were always the smug fucking motherfuckers who don't do shit. They're always living in some girl's apartment and smell like cat piss and go down to the fucking coffee shop every afternoon all night and fucking buy one cup of coffee, and it's the endless refill shit. You know what I mean? Like, or down at the country kitchen and they sit there in the corner and sulk and write their fucking poetry. That's the kind of guy he is in this movie. And you find out more so through the deleted scenes that, yeah, basically that's how this guy makes his living, evidently.
poet.
I guess. It's still not totally clear, but you get this idea that that's what he does for a living, I guess. Because
Yeah.
all these people talk to him about his poetry. He has this mentor guy that's a totally deleted bit and is a reworking of the beginning. So that was obviously reshot. There's some
Mhm.
stuff that was clearly See, that's what I was trying to say to Greg earlier too. I haven't watched the trailers. I should have went back and watched them. But I swear, when this movie was first coming out and they were starting to advertise the piss out of it, the trailers set it up more as a horror comedy. And that's probably half the reason why we're getting these 30 minutes of deleted scenes. Is I wonder if a bunch of those are in the trailers. That's
Yeah,
the only
might
other
be.
special
Yeah.
feature we get.
Yeah. But to be honest with you, most of the side characters steal the movie from Mike Myers. Even Mike Myers
That's
steals the
true.
movie from himself as his dad. But like Alan Arkin is great as the nice ass
That's one of the
captain.
best fucking bits in the whole movie.
Exactly. And like Anthony LaPaglia character is great, and he wants him to be like, he thinks he's like Serpico, even like styles himself after Al Pacino.
How
He
was
wants-
that? Was that good? That was really good. You did a good job. Keep it up.
Yeah. Hey, Paisan, it's Paisan.
I thought it was really good at first, but I wasn't sure. When I
Yeah.
got going, I thought it was a little too much. Was it too
With-
much?
With the ethnic slurs, was it too much? That's like the great part, and it is populated with the weirdest cameos.
One of the best is
Go ahead.
Charles Grodin.
That's Charles Grodin. He literally looks like he doesn't want to be there, but that's Charles Grodin. That's
It almost makes you want a whole nother movie with the what is his name? You just said it.
Anthony LaPaglia's
Anthony
character,
LaPaglia's character. Yeah. Like I almost want a whole nother movie with this character because he's more interesting. Like you said, everybody else is more interesting in this movie than Mike Myers is himself because he's a fucking insufferable douchebag. Like, I mean, and it makes you even wonder why any woman would want to be with him because they play this whole like, what is the other movie that they had a similar thing where well, it's kind of the thing that I know it's in Seinfeld with what's his face, where he always finds something wrong with his women, but there's another character in a movie that's similar to that where they always find something wrong with the woman to break up with them.
Yeah. That's like
But the problem is that only works if the character is somebody who you can see that women would fawn over. Right? When it's Mike Myers, especially as a beatnik fucking poetry writing motherfucker who's obnoxious and does stupid hello jokes and shit like that through the whole movie. Like really bad fucking shtick.
That's why I said it's very 90s because it's that very much that 90s slacker.
Well, it's his whole shtick with the
Yeah.
It's really Mike Myers playing himself is what it is.
Yeah, it's like one of the only things.
That is his normal shtick that he would do, around normal like interviews and crap like that when he's just being Mike Myers.
Yeah. And that's what I said. Like even all the other supporting characters really fill out that movie. I think if it wasn't for them, it probably wouldn't be a good movie because they like really set up the tone. Because like, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and here's where going off of my point exactly is where this is the other thing I was going to say is that's the problem with this movie is the character, like I said before, Mike Myers thinks this character's interesting. Mike Myers thinks women would think this character's interesting. But this is where you should have turned around and hired somebody else instead of Mike Myers. Even if Mike Myers gets to direct it and still writes it and all that shit, he should have been smart enough to go, you know what? This is not for me.
Right.
This is more something for like Ben Stiller or somebody who's a little bit more good looking. It has to be somebody who can be full of themselves because I'm sorry, Mike Myers is a pudgy little fucking, he's not a good looking guy. He's not. He's the schlubby, normal looking guy by Hollywood standards.
Tornado. I don't think Tom.
I do like Mike. I love Wayne's World. Loved Austin Powers. That's what I'm saying. When he's playing characters, he's great.
Yeah, that's why he steals the show as the dad.
That's what he should have done. He should have played the dad. And let somebody else play the main character, not necessarily Ben Stiller, but I'm trying to think of somebody, Scottish or Irish enough or whatever enough in that league that would play it, that could fit in that role. But it can't be him. Even if it's like who am I thinking of here? But like a Matthew McConaughey type, basically.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Somebody who's like a not necessarily beefy dude, but somebody you could see women actually wanting to fucking be with, even though they're a complete prick. Because that's the problem I have here. Like it's like that Good Luck Chuck movie kind of thing. Because like what's his face is like, okay, he's too much of a fucking chode. Like why would any movie want to be with him? Like I don't get it. Yeah. Rob Lowe would have been a better choice. Yes, somebody like that. Somebody who can play the smug, but you still like them brilliantly, like he did in Wayne's World. Exactly. That would have been better. See, that's what he should have done. He should have saw this part and go, you know what, Rob, this is perfect for you. And played like a couple of like a buddy character and his dad and something like, or the brother or something like that. And the dad, it's something to where, you could go ahead and do your funky shit. But you're right. Everybody else saves this fucking movie, which I understand why people loved this movie when it came out. Like the critics loved it. But the problem is it's a fucking romantic comedy. It's not a horror comedy anymore. Yeah. You see where it's shifted from that because of the 30 minutes deleted and the alternate scenes that are there. And I'm sorry, I'm hijacking this whole thing, but
no, go ahead.
Watching this is one of those things with this movie. I've had like a love-hate thing with this movie for years. Because I remember when it came out, everybody fucking loved it. And I saw it and I'm like, this is not the movie I was fucking sold. It was the Barbie of its time. And I just didn't buy it. Like I didn't buy the relationship with Mike Myers and what's her face.
Oh yeah, what was her name?
I'm forgetting names. It's right here. Nancy Travis.
Yeah, Nancy Travis.
Like I can't buy her. So. And she's that's what I'm saying. Like how would any woman fall for a prick like that? Just don't get it.
This was legitimately, I mean, because I do like the movie. I think it's funny. It's hilarious. And yes, it was sold on the.
No, you're right, Steven. It is a good movie, but that's the thing. The problem is your main star is the only one who's miscast. Yeah. That's what Greg is saying too, in a way.
Because the cast and the cameos really save it. And like we said, he even steals the show because like you read in the comments here, in the chat here, most people are just saying lines of him as his dad. Head
Yeah,
down,
that's the
diaper
stuff that
down.
everybody remembers.
They're not really remembering Mike Myers as the lead of the movie. They're remembering his dad. You remember the Alan Arkin scene with his buddy. You remember Nancy Travis, being this like.
You know what? It
hot
sucks
chick
that
and
it's
stuff.
such a Scottish background, because you know what who would have been perfect for this fucking role? Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person you need for this.
I can see
because he can play that he's charming, but he can also play full of himself and he's still charming. That's the problem. Mike Myers can't do that. Even Bill Murray would have been a better choice. Bill Murray knows how to do that with like Venkman, because that's who this guy is. You know what I'm saying? He knows he's funny, but he doesn't act like he knows he's funny. You know what? I know, Steven, and I know it's not that bad a movie. That's what makes me mad about it, is this could have been a really great comedy that everybody keeps saying it is, but it's hammed up by the guy who wrote it.
Yeah.
The Phil Hartman scene's one of the other great scenes in the movie too. Speaking of cameos,
he just comes in and my name's John Johnson, but everybody calls me Vicky, and it's like he just like it's like this weirdest cameo with Alcatraz, and he's like, "Well, Machine Gun Kelly cornered these guys and tore out his eyes and pissed in his eye socket." It's like, where the hell did that come from?
It's hilarious, but yeah, it's like the Charles Grodin scene. I need to commandeer this vehicle. No.
Yeah, no.
Please, can I commandeer this vehicle? No.
He legitimately it's so perfect because he legitimately looks like he has no interest in being in this movie whatsoever.
It makes you
he's
wonder.
Yeah. And then you get Kramer. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kramer. But I was just gonna say, it makes you wonder with Charles Grodin. It's like, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
My kid was a fan of the Wayne's World.
It sounds
and they
like
called and they said, "Do you want to be in the next Mike Myers movie?" And my kid got all excited, and I'm just like, fine.
Exactly.
That's what it feels like.
It does. And then notice this once again, notice that we're laughing at this movie of all the other stuff, nothing to do with. And I liked Mike Myers, and I never really thought about it that way till just now, to be honest with you, because I was just thinking I love all the side characters and all the cameos. Stephen Wright as the pilot, who's like,
it's just always rubbed me the wrong way, and that's why I've never.
Once you really do think about it, maybe somebody else should have played the lead in the movie. It doesn't mean Mike Myers still couldn't play the dad or been in the movie.
I wonder if it would have got more accolades that way. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Like, he could have been like an Oscar nominated writer or some shit. Like, this is the kind of movie they did kind of like. This is right around the time, a couple years after Harry Met Sally.
Yeah. It could have been like Ben Stiller with The Cable Guy. It's like Ben Stiller directed it. He knew he wouldn't star in it, and he.
That's a bad one.
Yeah, that's a bad. That's a bad. That's a bad comparison.
Did he direct Tropic Thunder? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think he directed Tropic Thunder, but he's in
he
Tropic
did.
Thunder as like the main star.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, but see, that works for him. But he's a little bit more multi-level. Like, Stiller is one of those guys that, again, and I just brought him up because he knows how to play that asshole.
Yeah.
You know, all the levels.
Asshole.
Dodgeball.
Well, not that. That's more of just playing an asshole, but he knows how to play like a neurotic, lovable asshole at the same time.
Oh,
It's like the guy that, man, this guy's an asshole, but I can see why so many people like him.
Unfortunately, he'd be too much like a Mike Myers type, but somebody like Matthew Broderick could pull it off better than Mike Myers.
Yeah.
See, because even he's still cute enough to where you could go, okay, I can see where women would want to date him. Mike Myers, unfortunately, and especially, and I'm not saying he's an ugly man in general, because he's not, but on Hollywood terms, he's a fucking chode. You have that's kind of, he leans into that joke with Austin Powers. That's the beauty of what works with that. You know, because that's like, he doesn't care that he's that ugly.
Yeah, it's like even they do that bit within the movie when she calls her mom in the first one. She's like, and women found him attractive, and he's like, you got to understand, honey, Austin was. There was just something about him, you know, or whatever. So it kind of leans into that.
I know he's unconventional or whatever she says,
like
but
it's the teeth and the hair, and it's like, you know. But yeah, I get it. The more I think, I never thought about it that before until just now when I was talking about it, because when you really think about this movie, honest to God, when you think about this movie, you remember everything other than Mike Myers. You remember the dad, you remember his friend,
Yeah.
you remember Alan Arkin, you remember the cameos because they're just like the weirdest fucking cameos. You remember Amanda Plummer as the weird sister. You remember Nancy Travis because she was smoking hot in this movie. You remember the mom when she kisses his friend. It's like you turned into a wee bit sexy bastard. You know,
Yeah.
that's
She's
what-
been in I'm trying to think of what other movies she was in. I've seen her in a bunch of shit. She used to be in a bunch of, I believe, British movies and
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Australian. I'm trying to remember. I've seen her in something else, and recently, or not recently, but other than that she was really good in The Mother. But yeah, no, like that's the point. Is like it's this great, like little funny kind, and I can see why it was successful. But again, like even somebody like I'm trying to think. There's got to be someone in that pantheon of that time that could have done it so much better, and it would have been,
Yeah. I get where you're going with that. I get it.
And again, yeah, and Ben Stiller's probably even still not right because he wanted to stick with the Scottish thing. I get it,
Mm-hmm.
So like you
It's
have
his
to find
dad,
somebody who
man.
fits in that. But
Mike Myers is real dad. That's where he like bases everything off of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's basically Fat Bastard. At
Yeah.
the end of the day.
Yep.
Get in my belly.
In my belly.
No, we can recommend it though for what it is.
Oh,
I
I'd
mean,
definitely pick
it
up-
aged fairly well. Unfortunately, that was my problem. Was the Mike Myers scenes really?
That's who
rubbed
she
me.
is. She's the Lady Bird in Home Alone 2.
That's it. Yes.
That's who the mom is. Yep. That's who
And I've
she
seen
is.
her in some other like I swear she was in some comedy with like. So I when I worked at the video store, we got a lot of import movies from like Britain and Australia, and I swear there was some movie she was in that I thought was hilarious that she was in, and I can't remember now what it was, but anyway, I'll look it up and I'll remember it later.
Yeah. My left.
Because otherwise, it does feel
feel-
very much like a John Hughes kind of movie. If you would have got Mike Myers, somebody else to play that role,
Mhm.
it could have really worked, and maybe that's where Broderick would have worked better. And I don't know.
Good, but yeah, I would say yes. If you Runner, you might really enjoy it. If nothing for else, really the side characters really make, like I said, it really truly makes the movie. That's what makes the movie so funny, and I think you would dig it. And definitely, if you want to pick up the 4K, I would recommend it because the Blu-ray went out of print, and the Blu-ray was actually selling more than the 4K. So at this moment in time, so if you want the 4K, it's just a 4K disc though. That's another like downside there is there's no Blu-ray, but they do give you a digital copy. So, and all the special features are on the 4K.
I'm trying to be fair, I'm trying to be careful of what I spend now because
I get you, man.
It's crazy how much I spent. Like
Bronson coming in with the fucking pop-up trivia. Look at that shit.
Look at Bronson. Thank you.
I
So
like
much
that though.
again.
I
like
I
that
just
kind of
like
stuff.
like right before the show, I literally like ordered like some things from Kino for their sale.
I know. I'm debating because I haven't quite put my order in for Kino yet because I'm debating if I want to go ahead and instead of Kino money, spend my money on Hellraiser, Psycho, and Night of the Demons.
See,
that's what I'm debating because once I do that, then I won't be able to do the Kino sale, and I don't got much time left.
I can't do that shit. I can't buy that stuff.
Well, I know, but yeah.
I get to the point where I don't know if Kino has any movies left for me to buy.
Kino had a few I was wanting.
I don't know. We're almost down there. I tell you.
They have some stuff I do want to get.
The thing is, with some of the ones that's left with Kino that I want aren't technically that great of a movies. Like I do want to pick up The Experts with John Travolta, but I'm not in a hurry to pick that up. So like the movies that's on the sale is not something I'm in a hurry to pick up, but there's stuff I want to get, and this will the cheapest will be at the moment. So I'm debating.
I've just picked up some of like the 4K stuff. That's really what I got for Kino. Well, here's the thing. I want to get the Nosferatu Blu-ray, like the original, but like I want to wait until it actually comes on sale for like $10.
It was on the last sale. You missed out
Yeah.
on Russell.
No, I remember when I had trouble trying to
Pay
Yeah, I
attention though,
remember
because
that.
shit goes out of print on them, and then
Yeah.
that's usually the only time I find stuff that I haven't really gotten yet is when they say, "Oh, we found some old stock."
Yep.
That'll happen from time to time.
But Bronson Wright with the $20
Yeah.
super chat. Thank you so very much, Bronson. I truly appreciate it. It says, I know you guys know this, but Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy were in Shrek. Mike Myers and Eddie Murphy are both known for playing multiple characters in some of their movies. No one else does it as good as Eddie Murphy. It's true. He kind of cornered, I think Eddie Murphy kind of cornered that market first before Mike Myers came along with Nutty Professors and Coming to America and all that. So, yeah, I think Eddie Murphy pretty much perfected that. So yeah, thank you, Bronson. Truly appreciate it for the $20 super chat. I'll give you a little.
Next on USA. Up, 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 up. All night.
I haven't seen a little Rhonda in a while.
And I think we've given him an up all night.
Yeah.
Physical media. Now that we've gone over 3 hours.
Yeah, I think it's time to close it down.
Yeah.
Filmmakers step. Some I don't know why some do. Some just sign off on it. Pretty much Spider-Man.
I think, yeah, it's one of those things where, first of all, the studios or the producers at the end of the day are the ones who ultimately own these films, so they don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
And even if the directors do come in and bitch about it, they don't have to listen to them. And 9 times out of 10, unless the studio has any real reason to, they're not going to. So that's why a lot of directors have like final sign, and then it gets in the way of things too. Like, look, that's the reason why we haven't had Aliens and Abyss and True Lies is because, Cameron has to sign off on those things. So it's only a few directors who have that power. But a lot of times these, boutique companies, they do their best to either get the director or the cinematographer involved with these transfers. So that's usually the case. So then again, sometimes they're their own worst enemies.
Yep.
As much as I love William Friedkin, he has messed with each and every one of his movies every fucking time he's put them out. Yeah. And it's not always the worst in the world, but sometimes it's like, dude, why'd you got to mess with it? It was fine the way it was. It's never anything like major outside of the extended cut of Exorcist, but it's usually just minor things like either a sound tweak or he likes to change the color timing a lot.
Yeah.
For some fucking reason. Like, go and look up the differences in the Exorcist releases, and he's overseen each and every fucking one of them.
Yep.
And he has a different color timing for each fucking one. So it almost makes me wonder what color timing we're going to get out of the 4K.
Yeah, with the 4K. Now I'm kind of debating whether or not to buy that one or just to import the British one.
Isn't it coming with both the directors and the theatrical cut?
Yeah, but the discs don't have, or they're just the discs, or one disc or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The UK, on the other hand, that version is getting discs-based special features, but that's the one I pre-ordered so far because I've been waiting for the the big ultimate cut to go on, or ultimate collector's edition to go on sale if it ever does on Amazon, unless I did miss out on it. But yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get Bronson once again. He has one more super chat for us. We'll get this last super chat and then we'll close it out. But thank you once again, Bronson, for the $10 super chat. I truly do appreciate it. It says it's an honor to support your channel. Please keep up the great work. I have one more question. What are you guys' thoughts on Ozzy Osbourne's song Hellraiser? It's from the No More Tears album.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of it. I like Ozzy Osbourne. It's
I like the Lemmy version too that they did for Hellraiser 3.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I like that. Yeah. It's a great song, and it's
somebody went and mixed the two together on YouTube. You can find it.
Is it that guy that does that where they puts the songs together like that?
I don't know, but somebody went and mixed a version of it where it has both Lemmy and Ozzy singing on it. It's kind of cool.
Nice. But yeah, that song's going to get some heavy rotation here soon. Coming into October and Hellraiser and all that. But thank you, truly. It's an honor to have you in the chat, Bronson.
I hope they have the video for that on the.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I don't know if they had. Did they have that on the other release they had? I'll have to look. I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's got some good.
I don't think they did. For some reason I don't think they did.
Yeah. But
somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but because I have the Scarlet box or whatever it was with 1 through 3 in it, the Arrow one they released 5 years ago now.
Took them long enough, didn't it, to get to the 4K?
Oh God, actually, I think it's been more than that, maybe. But And I think them come from a 4K scan, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember.
Yeah. But thank you, Tom. Thank you, Runner, for being here with us as always. To everybody in chat, you guys are all awesome. Thank you for joining us for the Physical Media Show. We came back with a bang. We came back with a bang this week, and I appreciate you guys. You guys showed up, and I'm honored. Thank you so very much. And with all that being said, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
How you doing?
Bitches leave.
Bitches leave.